I was gonna make a joke about how like the world is just fine and there's no problems right now, but I forgot that Firefly's idle animations I think are actually like very like emotional, so I don't think that really applies. Oh, there's this one, I guess, where she feels the breeze. Okay, we have this. Firefly fixing her hair. Everything's right with the world. We can make the joke. Pretend you didn't see the start for this. Everything's right with the world. Everything's good. Everything's fantastic. Hello, Baby Gang says, this is Calvin, also known as Romer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Honkai Star Rail. And we're still going along with Firefly and the Dahlia, which, as we said last time, one of the weirdest but craziest introductions into a game ever. I know they were already introduced, but like in this way, it feels like they've kind of like inserted themselves into a lot of like parts of Pennyconey that we didn't know they were there before.
That? Firefly, let's go and check it out.
You know what I mean? Like, as I said last time, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, this happens. The idea of someone's memories being taken away, being locked away, being forgotten about, it happens in Honkai Star Rail. So it's not that part that we're ever like really worried about too much. It's the more, well, we are worried about it, but we're like, you know what I mean? I'm more worried about as well, kind of like the reliability of the Dahlia. You know what I mean? I think it's one of those things if like we like can find out like from the Dahlia, like, and like it would be way more, you know, because right now we're only talking to the Dahlia, right? And that's what made me like, in the, like as I was doing the post discussion last time, kind of be like, wait a second, this is kind of like really worrying, you know, this is super worrying. But I am like kind of like waiting and seeing what exactly could be happening here as well. I think it's totally healthy to be like, yeah, all of this is like, yeah, memories being forgotten, stolen, yeah. And then also it's healthy to be like, yeah, but can we trust the Dahlia? Can we trust them?
From the traces nearby,
oh, wow.
It was Death's doing. But did they really die?
Have they really died?
No, your conjecture is right. It's just that these birds weren't welcome in another dreamscape.
Wait, what? So since they weren't like allowed to go into another dreamscape, they died before they came into the other one?
You've seen them before?
Yes, but that's what makes this so intriguing. The outcome of the battle was the complete opposite of what I expected. That reminds me, there's something important I still haven't asked you yet.
Even that, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the game is not like, it's not like the game is like hiding the fact that she's like really suspicious, you know? It's like the game isn't being like, hey, you know, she's totally trustworthy all the time. The way she even speaks is like...
That reminds me, there's something important I still haven't asked you yet.
I still haven't asked you yet. Like if you're not weary of the Dahlia, you know?
Would you like to die together with me?
Today? Not really.
Oh my god, Firefly saying today as if someone asked her to go, oh, their smile. Like as if someone asked her to go to the park and she didn't want to.
I just love catching you off guard like that. It's adorable.
Leave Firefly alone, please.
Then, take a few steps back. I have a few conjectures. There might be some risk. If anything happens, don't worry about me.
See, she just worries me because again, like I totally, as you said, totally believe there could be another member of the Stellar Hunters we didn't know about. Totally believe she could be infiltrating the Flame Mansion and actually be a Stellar Hunter, as we said last time as well. But it's just like one of those things where like, does Firefly even fully... Well, she does seem like she trusts her, right? She does. That's the scary thing, you know? So it's like, while I'm feeling very nervous around her, like Firefly seems very comfortable to some extent, right? With the Dahlia.
What are you...
Just as I thought.
So, what happened?
These ravens are the incarnation of the Dream Master Gopher Wood, that omnipotent being in the sweet dream. In front of him, even death has no strength to resist.
I think we saw this before, right? Whenever we were like around Pennyconey, we saw the birds watching us all the time.
The power I just released should have been enough for him to notice and deliver a fatal blow. Yet here we are, completely unharmed.
So he didn't pay attention to us?
You know, you're quite similar to Blade sometimes. I mean, when you're staring death in the face.
Oh.
It's not relief I feel. I'm savoring a once-in-a-lifetime thrill.
So when she says that she's just like Blade, is it that like she took this chance of like trying to do this thing where she releases power, and if Gopher was like being attentive here and seeing her, he would have done something? So she took a chance here, and then like because Blade knows he can't die, Blade probably takes more chances than he probably would, right? he fought Jing Liu on a whim. You know what I mean? So I guess that is kind of like that way of looking at it. But the Dahlia is saying, like, actually, like, when am I ever going to get the chance to do this again? You know, do an active power that could, like, piss off, you know, the person who's, like, controlling all the stuff here in Penacony.
If only it was just once for me, too. But was it really him? If I remember correctly, the Dream Master's body was burned to ashes in a riot long ago. And he can now only sustain his life within the sweet dream.
Not only that, over the long passage of time, he has merged himself with every inch of Penacony's land.
Bit obsessive, isn't it?
The title Dream Master doesn't mean he merely controls the dreamscape. Rather, it means he has already turned
Jesus,
the dreamscape itself into his second body.
It's so funny that the second we got to Penacony, he was already, like, corrupt in more ways than one, right?
In extreme cases, he could probably burn all of Penacony to the ground. Though hopefully he wouldn't have the heart to do it.
When Sunday kind of went against Gopher in the end, it kind of showed how powerful Sunday had become as well, right?
We better act fast.
Easy now. We're safe for the time being. Maybe it's not that he doesn't want to act against us, but rather that he can't. At least, not yet.
Like, it's so crazy here, like, the Dahlia was so central then to Firefly's character story here, and, like, you know, escaping this area, getting back to reality, all these things. Like, it's crazy.
Lately, Gopher Wood has been claiming to be ill, never appearing in the 12 hours. Yet just recently, he buried his darkest crime deep within the dreamscape.
So, you're saying that burying this crime took a heavy toll on him, leaving a flaw in his supposed omniscience and omnipotence. That does sound plausible. Could it have something to do with the Watchmaker's legacy?
I don't think so. After all, that secret was branded as the darkest. And perhaps the legacy is not one alone. Only by seeing it for ourselves can we know.
So that secret was branded as darkness. Perhaps the legacy is not one alone. Wait, what? So she's saying that, like, you know, it took a toll on him. Could have something to do with the Watchmaker's legacy, but she's saying the actual secret is the darkest. But the legacy of the Watchmaker doesn't seem like it is the darkest one. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm just gonna go with the flow for most of it. Like, for sure. Oh.
A mistake.
Why made me
anyone
walk 2
could make.
steps?
Setting up layer upon layer of security around a secret only ends up exposing its flaws.
I know why they did it. So, like, again, anyone who, like, wants to take a break right there can take a break. 100%. But it's so funny. It's like you take 2 steps and there's another cutscene. It's like, yeah, I want to see more story. But it's like, you know, again, I understand why. Why
don't we give it a shot and build up some experience dealing with memes?
Me when I get, like, upset when people send me memes.
There won't be any new experiences. I'll activate Firefly Type 4 and end this quickly.
What a pity. I would have much preferred to see you in a pinch, so you'd have to rely on me all the more.
She freaks me out in a lot of ways. Like, she's such a cool character, but she freaks me out so much.
I hope for an end to strife in the world.
You tell him, Robin.
Harmony and unison.
Relax.
We have, like, this team I don't think is efficient whatsoever, but
It's on me.
we're still gonna use them. I do want to get into using, as I said, leveling up Firefly even more, because as I did hear, Firefly became
Right.
really OP.
Doors echo.
So
May as well kill them all.
there we go. But it's not just that she became OP, is that, like, I do, like, miss my other characters as well, but obviously, like, it's finding the time to do it, of course, because obviously leveling up characters takes way more time than it used to, obviously. So it is, like, you know, Jing Liu, I want to level up. Su Shang, I think, is close to being leveled up. Listen to this. Just the greatest song of all time, I think.
Like fireflies to a until
I think you guys would agree, right?
burns to
Yeah, so like I do want to just get a level up as soon as possible. Wrong button. This is the greatest of all time. The GOAT. I think it's just like, I think it is really crazy that like, you know, we need to have like a conversation about who is the GOAT, and the answer is Robin.
Stand still.
Annual GOAT Awards. Number 1, Robin.
Watch your head.
You hear that part of the song as well? It's so great.
When it comes to this, you're the expert. Yet I'd always imagined that calling upon that power would make you
Fair
profoundly
point.
melancholic.
Fair point. You would think so too, wouldn't you?
I'm not now. And never will be.
I think maybe adds to the idea of her saying she's not going to look away from the swarm either, because obviously the swarm was something that like devastated, you know, her comrades. So I think, you know, maybe she treats the idea of using Sam as less of a melancholic memory, more like a maybe a carrying on of like the legacy that people that came before, and she's living on for them in a way too. So maybe not looking away from the swarm is like a way to not disrespect the people that came before as well, which is like, you know, if she can destroy, you know, potential death wherever she can, she will do so. If she can use her machine to help people and to save people's lives, then that's better than just like, you know, acting as if this is something that she never wants to use. She maybe has a really good perspective on that in a lot of ways, which I think is very beautiful.
Is this it? An entrance?
It only looks like an entrance. That crack doesn't lead anywhere. It's a lock of memories. And the key is a light cone carrying specific memories.
The crack doesn't, so you have to find a key.
Clearly, Gopher Wood had help from a memo keeper. And since that light cone isn't in our hands, I fear we'll be returning empty-handed.
Is there really no other way?
We could try our luck. Perhaps the memo keeper helping Gopher Wood shares the same habits as me.
The way she talks, she's like, it's like she's exhilarated just to exist. You know what I mean? She's like, oh my god, this life is great.
I'll take a look, but don't get your hopes up.
Is she talking about Black Swan?
Pretty careless indeed. Just like an old friend of mine.
It's interesting they show the machines out here being burnt to a crisp, because it's like, you know, we saw the swarm being burnt to a crisp earlier as well, showing that obviously, like, you know, remember before we came into Penacony, wait a second. No, maybe not. Because maybe I'm just thinking out of order. Remember we walked through this exact location, we saw these bodies all on the floor? Do you guys remember that? And we saw stuff about the nihility and stuff like this as well, and we were like, who could have destroyed these things? I remember maybe it was this exact place, if I remember correctly. But yeah, like, you know, this is how she recognized the swarm burns, because obviously this is what she's capable of. Am I misremembering that? I remember we walked through this exact location. I think it was this exact location. We saw the burnt machines on the ground. Maybe I'm misremembering it completely, the order of things, but I remember that's when we saw, or about to meet her for the first time.
Luck. We found one of their contingencies.
Isn't it crazy as well, when we first met Sam, I thought Sam was the scariest character in the game. And they've turned out to be the sweetest character who ever lived.
Do you have memories like that? A moment in time you never want to forget. One that you find yourself reliving over and over again.
It's so funny because she will make one of those memories. Remember the fireworks with Stell?
Of course. More than just one.
And of course the moment on the rooftop with Stell as well is such a big moment too.
What a shame.
What a shame.
Don't take it to heart. I'm just imitating those annoying memo keepers. In their view, the more memories recalled, the more likely it is to become distorted
Interesting.
beyond recognition.
Is this what she was saying as well to Stell about, like, if you keep describing a memory, it might become, like, more distorted? So they don't want people to recall memories. Maybe they want to take memories when they're, like, purely, like, in their purest form?
Each time you recall a memory, you risk distorting its true face. That's how they justify the necessity of light cones. How tragic. They never understood the truth. The more eternal a thing, the more it stirs the desire to destroy it.
Interesting. So again, we don't obviously know the context behind the light cones, but as well, like, I find it so interesting, the idea of like if you remember something more or try to recall something more and more, it like distorts it over time. And I wonder if there's like a real life application to that as well, where like you try to remember a childhood memory or something, and like each time you maybe add like something to it, or maybe something like feels like it's like out of place or something, or you can't remember the exact thing or like the exact context or like where the exact location was. Or I don't know. It's interesting that they like they see the true face as like the, I guess maybe like before it's used up in some ways.
But they weren't wrong about the present situation. Even if Gopher Wood were to come in person, he'd need to bring a specific light cone. His own memories can no longer be trusted.
Wait for the key?
That's exactly why we have a contingency plan right in front of us.
So Gopher can't even, because of that, he can't even like trust his own memories as well?
But I haven't seen anything since just now.
Oh, sorry.
Oh god, there's the red eyes again.
Inside here, there must be some kind of gentle trigger that would help him recover his memories before they are
Is this all for the
subjected to
key of the
distortion.
painting we just came by as well, the crack?
But for us, that's probably meaningless. Whatever triggers his memories would just seem bizarre and random to us.
Think so?
Still, let's go take a look inside. We might pick up some clues at least.
That's right. Go ahead. Every action brings joy. And a price to
Oh my
pay.
god. The sinister stuff after. She has such a sinister vibe to her after every like sentence.
Paradise shall fall into this world of sorrow. And once dawn breaks, it will shatter in the light of day. How could anything golden abide in glory forever?
So paradise shall fall into the world of sorrow. And once dawn breaks, it will shatter into the light of day. How could anything golden abide in glory forever? So they said they want to find a contingency plan here as well. And that the memories of Gopher, he can't even trust his own memories. So it's one of those situations where like they have to like explore them themselves to find, as I think they used the word gentle trigger. Again, like I'm sure like there's like a greater context to this as well. That I'm not understanding fully. But I guess it is like to go through that painting as well also. Whoa.
How can this be?
Is that?
AR 214.
Yeah.
Is that really you?
Oh, comrade as well. What the hell?
You don't have to force yourself. I can take
Yeah, but
care
why
of
is it here in this moment, like, you know?
No. It's okay.
Was it her that you saw when infiltrating Penacony?
Yes, I saw her fighting off the swarm. But it was just Memoria, and it vanished quickly. Silverwolf mentioned that Penacony had also faced a swarm invasion before. I kept telling
Or a voice
myself
here
that
as
she
well.
was just passing by and lending a helping
That's
hand.
so dark as well, right? But I think it could be on the assumption as well that, like, then they could have been trapped here. This could have been a situation that they were trapped.
And after everything was over, she had already left, safe and sound.
So that would have been, I guess, a while ago at this stage. Again, I'm not sure the actual timeline, but I think this was after being separated from Stella again, right? After they went into the... After they met with Black Swan, maybe, as well there too.
So this time, do you still want to know the answer?
Would it be any different? I really want you to tell me that this is not real. It's just
Like they're
Memoria.
actually there and they're not actually here in this moment.
But thinking about it calmly, nothing can change it. A memory is ultimately something that's already happened.
You're more composed than I expected.
I mean, I wonder if it's like the years and years of having to think about our comrades and, you know, the things that they went through as well.
I wish I wasn't like this. She and I, we could be called friends. I wish I could just break down and cry for her, like any normal person
Having
would.
to wish to
mourn
be
her
upset.
loss. But what surfaced in my mind was that one sentence. This is our predestined fate, and one day, I too shall meet the same end.
Man, is that... First of all, the music's beautiful here in the background as well, but like... Is that also because, like, again, they were created to be like fodder to be destroyed, right? And because she has that sickness that basically she would eventually fade away from this world, is it because now she's thinking of like one day I will also like... I'm also going to be gone too. So while she wants to cry, while she wants to break down, while she wants to be beside this person, she feels like at some point in the future she will also get to this point as well.
One day.
It's really hard. Like, I'll be honest, like I'm finding it harder to follow this time around for this mission for sure.
Not today. Though it's already too late. There are still other things I
Jeez,
can
man,
do
imagine
for
like
her.
just again like all the stuff the Firefly's gone through, the reaffirming of like her steps forward and what she wanted to do in terms of like honoring those people who died before, you know, the people that she, you know, sat under the stars with, had those relaxing days with, that in between all the battles as well, that she witnessed get destroyed also. Like, and then having to witness like the same comrade fighting against the swarm once again, thinking, okay, maybe they're going to be okay. Maybe they're just passing by. And then having to witness them here heaped against the wall basically as well. And not even being able to like, you know, wanting to weep, wanting to cry, but you just can't.
Maybe you should calm down first. Unfortunately, this isn't Memoria, but a real Glamoth night. Clearly, Penacony was her final destination.
So this isn't a distorted Memoria, this is a Glamoth Night.
I'm surprised
Wow.
she made it to Penacony at all.
Oh, the Glamoth regulations. She broke those prohibitions?
Worse than that. She was the first and
Ah.
only deserter of the Glamoth Iron Cavalry.
Incredible.
The Empire hadn't fallen yet. But she didn't want to accept
That's
a fate
brutal.
of dying in battle. So she left. On her own. She said she wanted to choose how she would die.
And then again, it's such a dark way of looking at it, but also very beautiful at the same time too, because it is the idea, again, it's a fantastic analogy, it works really well, which is the idea of the bird in the cage. And it's Penacony in general. We talked about where every single character can be related to the bird in the cage in some way. Even Sparkle is like someone who like is so trapped in her own cage that like, again, she said herself, the mask is on so long that you kind of like can't even take it off anymore, you know? But in this sense, like the idea of like she would rather die here, and she probably was happier to die in Penacony than she was to die under the regime of this empire. And it's, you know, one of those things where, like, I guess that is why I would say Firefly, in my view as well, has, obviously she wants to live for herself and she wants to have her own life and she wants to be able to, like, you know, live in a happy life where she feels tangibly attached to the world by herself, as herself. But I think there's probably a lot of, like, pressure as well, maybe, like, good pressure in some ways, maybe, to feel like I wasn't one of the deserters, but I saw how far she got. How far she was willing to go so she could die by her own, on her own terms. And maybe there is like something in that does inspire her to want to live that life as well, to live her own life, to go against the idea of like your predestined fate. Which is why I think Firefly doesn't read the script a lot, is because while she knows that she's on a path in some ways, she wants desperately to also have it feel like she's choosing her own path, which I think they do. You do choose your own path. It's just obviously like they're kind of predetermined in a lot of ways.
We had a brief farewell, but I didn't stop
course.
her. I couldn't. Leaving the Glamoth Empire itself would quickly drain her life
Is that what is happening with Firefly as well then?
If we can't change the outcome, why should I stop her from making her own choice?
So much of Firefly's story is about making her own choice as well.
Quickly drain her life away. Oh.
Yeah.
Entropy loss syndrome.
Yes, just like me. Leaving the cockpit without permission is strictly prohibited. Surviving knights must actively return to formation. These aren't just military regulations. They're the terms of our survival.
It's so brutal. Like, they were slaves. You know what I mean? That's what they were. They were fodder. They didn't have their own lives, didn't have their own existence. And again, that's why, like, I needed to be known here as well. Like, I would put Firefly's story up. And I've said this before, even like at the end, like Firefly's one of the best characters in the entire game. I put Firefly's story up like against like, you know, the very like, you know, intricate and modern and long stories of like the Amphoreus characters. Like there's on the base level in one line, on one sentence, Firefly's character is one of the most incredible stories ever, you know? A character who like is constantly fading away from this world, but that makes her want to live in this world even more. Right? I know it's like such like a simplification of her story, but it's just that. It's just that she's like a character who's constantly fading away from this world, and it makes her want to live in this world even more. Like it's just it's such a simplistic story, but it's so deep. It's so powerful as well. It's all the more reason why when she found Stella, like she felt like this new burst of life. Why she wanted to meet Stella again.
When not piloting the Firefly Type 4, I must stay in the cryo sleep pod.
That's so sad.
Otherwise, my entropy loss syndrome will only
And
get
that's the
worse.
thing as well, as we know the other Stella on hunters care so much about her, and like you can see the way Silverwolf, who like tries to act like she doesn't care that often, looks inside the pod at Firefly all the time, and you can see that she's feeling so bad. Even the words she's saying, she like, and it's really cute that all the characters I feel like, you know, are so sharp and biting with each other, like Silverwolf, Kafka, Blade. But when they talk to Firefly, they're like so sweet. Like Kafka will be like, "Shut up, Blade," or she wouldn't say that. She'd be like, "Blade, do this, do that." You know what I mean? Because they have an understanding of each other that they are more firm with each other. But I feel like with Firefly, it's like, "Firefly, honey, can you do this?" You know, even Blade, who was like so sharp and so biting and so cold with everybody, when he was in the car with Firefly, he was like trying to make sure he said all the right things because he didn't want to upset her, because they all care about Firefly so freaking much.
So, have you figured out the reason yet?
When she and Kafka found me, I had just finished my duties as a Glamoth Knight. My final battle as a Glamoth
Wasn't it that
Knight.
gigantic battle?
The Empire fell, and all restrictions vanished. For the first time, green flames ignited upon
I think
my
we remember
body.
this trailer, right?
And for the first time, I touched the true path power that the Glamoth Knights wield. That's when I realized entropy loss syndrome is a death called living.
Propagation.
The propagation? That's the true source of the Glamoth Iron Cavalry's
We
power?
can definitely propagation. Again, I always like get mixed up with the paths as well, but we definitely read up on it in the data bank again as well.
Yes, I've seen it happen. When the Swarm King dies, the swarm completely loses its vitality and falls into
So
silence.
they draw power from them.
Just like Glamoth's Iron Cavalry, they weren't given a sense of self. The moment they stray from the hive, they're already dead.
So they draw.
Same goes for entropy loss
Oh, this
syndrome.
music. No. No. Turn it down. No. How dare. So it's as it says, it's like a drawing from a power system almost. Anything but the song. I love it to pieces, that's the problem.
Could you help me take her away?
Wow.
I don't want to leave her here alone.
This is one of the most beautiful scenes ever. It's so gorgeous.
After all this is over, I want to give her a proper burial, just like any normal person.
She wants to feel like a normal person.
I'm happy to help.
Thank you, Dahlia.
She wanted to escape her fate. But in the end, she died fighting against the swarm in Penacony. The detestable thing about destiny is that it brooks no
Yeah, but hot
defiance.
take though. Like, I feel like here it's almost like more of a choice, and at least she got to choose to break free. You know what I mean? It feels like here she's doing it as a good deed rather than just like being forced to fight the swarm for the rest of her life. Yeah, you could say it's very ironic that she left the swarm to fight the swarm, but fighting the swarm as like an individual versus fighting the swarm as a fodder in an army or in a war, I feel like it's a very different thing. I feel like it's very different.
Do you know her name?
When we parted, she had no name, just like me. But I hope by the time she leaves this world, she will
Wow.
have found both a name and a purpose for her
Oh,
life.
she said purpose. The freaking symbols came in. Holy hell, dude. This song. The reason I said no is like I'm already getting hit so hard, dude. This song is... You think the word tomorrow is something that kills us, right? This song just kills me every time. Firefly means the world to me. So much of Firefly's story was finding a purpose, right? And finding a, like, not only just a place where she belongs, but a place where she could be Firefly, an individual. And I feel like she found that in the Stellar Hunter. She found that in her friendship with Stella, which again, Stella's a Stellar Hunter as well, right? Always. And that's why, like, it's one of those things where, like, no matter what, I'll never be against the Stellar Hunter, guys. Never. Never, ever, ever. I love my ragtag group of characters that will help each other so many times.
Why did Gopher Wood leave her here? No matter how much I think about it, everything he's scheming couldn't possibly be connected to the propagation. How deeply is your past intertwined with this place?
It's not clear yet. But obviously she had multiple fatal wounds on her body. She didn't die from entropy loss.
So, sorry, I'm actually not sorry at all, but, so Gopher would leave her, no matter how much I think about it, everything he's scheming could possibly be connected to the propagation. It's connected to Ina, right? How deep is your past intertwined with this place? So she's asking because since she was left here, does that mean your past is intertwined with this place? But she said, I'm not sure how much my past is intertwined with this place. She didn't die from entropy loss.
Before we left, Kafka told me, in her view, dreams are inherently a convergence
I
of
love
the
that
past.
woman so much.
It's the same for everyone, no matter how much you want to avoid it. No matter what you're seeking, you can't avoid it. Perhaps she was right.
Dreams are convergence of the past. So no matter what, you're gonna end up like facing the past again, even in your dreams. And dreams, I think in reality, dreams are that, right? Because dreams are like you unpacking the day, isn't it? Or like even if it's like not something that feels very real, it's something about the stuff that's happened to you throughout the day as well. No matter what you're seeking, you can't avoid it. She's like, no matter what, you will end up like dovetailing with your past. And by the way, I love that Kafka says in her view as well, by the way, because Kafka doesn't offer absolutes all the time. She offers guidance. That's who she is. Like, to me, Kafka is... I think people who... This song, guys, it's killing me. I think people who call Kafka cold or unloving or uncaring, just see Kafka as like this brutal killing spy. But it becomes very clear early on, very quickly, that like Kafka's love for her gray-haired daughters is so strong. You know what I mean? It's so freaking strong. And like, I know like maybe it's like, you know, people can say like, it's like, you know, one of those things like Firefly's more of a companion or whatever as well. But like, you can't deny that Kafka took on also a role of like, I want my Stellar Hunter pals to be happy as well. Elio's doing all the guidance in terms of like what to do here or there. And then Kafka feels like for Stell, Blade, even Silverwolf, Firefly, and who knows, maybe the Dahlia as well. It's like she's very much like, it's almost like she's like talent relations or something, you know what I mean? She's like very much like always like making sure that they're doing good. I always remember that moment when she gave Firefly her her credit card, which gave her an excuse to stay there for longer, you know, on Penacony. You could not like the Stellar Hunters. For me, like, it's one of those things where, like, if they asked me to become a Stellar Hunter tomorrow, I'd say I have no skills, but, like, use me as, you know, a human shield. I'll do it, you know?
However, the Dream Master's weakness has also given us an opportunity.
Good. Now then... Oh? Good news. It seems like we've got a few intruders in this dreamscape. Looks like Silver Wolf can still pick up signals from here after all.
Wait, Silverwolf came here?
That was fast.
Must be that Memo Keeper's guidance. Either she's lost her sense of restraint or got something nasty up her sleeve.
Okay.
Let's go check it out.
Oh.
You aren't hiding anything, are you?
Were they there in this moment?
Great. She's okay too.
Oh my god, she's so relieved as well. But yeah, but guys, that scene was absolutely superb. Like, it's just so amazing. And I think as well, like, I love the Firefly is, like, you know, has such a desire to live and such a desire to honor the past. Like, she doesn't forget about it. She doesn't even though, like, again, it's an interesting writing detail to have characters bury the past as well. But Firefly almost, like, is a rare character that, like, not only, like, embraces the past, but, like, almost, like, lets every single bullet fly right at her from the past, because I think she feels like she'd rather embrace it than let it all catch up to her eventually anyway. And the same way where Kafka said, like, all, like, you know, those things, the past will converge in one thing anyway during your dreams anyway. But it's ridiculously, like, such a beautiful aspect to, like, find this, again, the dead body of her fallen comrade, and rather than make it into a thing where, again, it would have been well written to have any other character be, like, torn up about it, crying and feeling like they wanted, like, it made them, like, realize that maybe life is futile in some ways. It's like the opposite for Firefly. It's this feeling of, like, I hope she had hope. I hope she had something before she passed on. Because I have a name now. I have a purpose. When Kafka found me, I gained a purpose. Isn't that so beautiful as a character? Rather than, again, as I said, it's still good writing if another character, let's say, like, another character where Janine found the body of her friend and crumpled up and started, like, bawling. That's still good character writing for Janine. For Firefly, she's such a beautifully hurt character who carries all the pain with her from the past. And instead of shedding it away, she literally drags it with her in this hopeful, like, you know, slow dragging of all these feelings to get to a place where she can also feel fully happy as well. It's like she carries all that past on her back all the time, but not in a way that she lets it destroy her.
Hold on. There's a troublesome stranger here.
She looks familiar.
Another goat.
She's...
That feels like 10 years ago, man. It's so crazy.
Oh? You don't know. Setting allegiances aside, she's much more dangerous than the Dream Master.
And cooler.
When facing an emanator who walks in the nihility, we must always tread carefully,
dude.
no matter when or where.
She's sick as heck, though. Does that count for something? She's sick as heck.
an emanator of the nihility. Was she ever mentioned in the script?
No. If it weren't for my father's death, I wouldn't have known about this
Because
either.
didn't she go in and, like, freaking rip them all apart? She was the one who, like, got rid of them?
Your arrival is timely. This dreamscape is fraught with danger. Since our destination is the same, how about we join forces? I can protect you from harm, but in the memory zone, I'll need assistance from the Memo Keeper as well. And if we run into the family, it wouldn't hurt to have one more person to explain the situation.
Akron was such a great injection into the story at that time too.
Absolutely not. We need to keep her away from her.
Shh, be careful. What's wrong? Right now, their journeying together is actually saving us a lot of trouble. I can sense it. Death has cast its shadow once again. It's close. And unless things change, they'll cross its path before long. That Miss Stellaron is clearly unfamiliar with Memoria. And that arrogant swan, always mindful of appearances, is unwilling to show all her cards. Only with Acheron present can they cross beyond death.
So they need Acheron in this moment.
Then all the more reason I should find them right now and tell them the truth. There's no need for another conflict with death.
But Black Swan is still here, with unknown intentions. If she chooses to twist the truth, you won't be able to convince the others. Here, a memo keeper's word carries more
What's so
weight.
crazy about this as well, though, is that Dahlia saying this, like, is a bit, you know, suspicious, because we know that at the base level, like, Acheron, of course, can be dangerous. This is factual, right? But not in a dangerous way that they ever would harm Stell, right? Black Swan can be dangerous, but not in a way that we can have a lack of trust towards Black Swan. At this time, we did have a lack of trust towards Black Swan. But we know, like, as players now, that, like, two people that are, like, influential, not only in the saving of, like, Amphoreus, but also the saving of Penacony, and the people in Penacony, and our lives in Penacony, is Acheron and Black Swan. You know what I mean? Like, now, looking at this now, so Dahlia saying this is kind of like, wait, like, you know, these two people are gonna, you know, we know, it's like, these two people are gonna be instrumental in helping us. Who are you? You know? These two people, who are you?
No need to rush things. There's still time to reveal the truth later.
So they're saying they're gonna have a brush against death again. I'm gonna, like, maybe screenshot this as well, but, like...
Absolutely not. Have you forgotten? As a Stellaron hunter, I have a 0-point mission. One that must be completed at any cost.
And I believe this is to guide Stell, right?
If there's even the slightest chance that Acheron might draw her blade, I cannot let her be there.
This was also... wait, so... If I'm not mistaken, isn't it the battle between Acheron, Black Swan, Stell, and Sam happens? And then... Sam, quote-unquote, Firefly, quote-unquote, Sam, fights with Acheron, and then Black Swan separates them and brings Stell to Adventurine, and separates them from Acheron. So in a way, Firefly does have a hand in separating them, right? Am I right? Again, her they have to protect Stell here, right? Stell is the influential in the battle with Nanook eventually, so they literally, Elio would want her to protect Stell.
I thought you wouldn't care. Haven't you had enough of sacrificing yourself for duty?
It's a bit unfair to say, but again, I don't want to make it seem like Firefly's doing it only because because Elio says so, but I think also at the same time too, it's like it combines with her feelings of wanting to reunite with Stell. It's like, it's an easy job to do. It's like, say someone giving me a job to, like, actually, perfect example. I wake up and do my job as playing Honkai Star Rail. I want to do it. You know what I mean? It coincides with a passion I have as well. Her passion for protecting Stell also coincides with the fact that she has to protect Stell.
My dream was destined to shatter from the start. But for them,
Please don't say this.
it's still not time to wake up.
You're not waking up either. We need to see Firefly again. We need to see
Can I
Firefly
ask
again.
you for one more thing? There might be a way to have the best of both worlds, but I need to find death before them.
That's not hard. It's still lingering in this domain, but... a win-win solution?
I don't know for sure, but it's worth a shot. Maybe it's not always hostile. And even if it is, once I activate Firefly Type 4, I can quickly subdue it. But if we're dealing with the worst case scenario...
I might be mixing up the timeline, but didn't that happen between a fight between Acheron and Firefly?
Elio once said that I would face death
He did.
3 times in Penacony. And for this first death, I want to decide how it comes.
So is this her, like, when she gets killed by the Memory Zone meme? One of the most shocking moments ever in this game?
I just hope that reunion a moment ago didn't rattle you. Go on ahead. I've burned a hole through the Memoria that'll take you straight to the meme. Better hurry, though. It might not stick around in one place for long.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, the timeline's mixed up in my head. It really is. It definitely is mixed up in my head, for sure. I'm sure you guys can, like, make the timeline more concrete.
No sign of anything. Could it have already left?
Because I remember so specifically, like, them. I think it was Black Swan separated her from Acheron so that she could give her to Aventurine. And it was a fight between Sam and Acheron that was really cool at the time. I remember it was so sick, and that was actually what I was really afraid. I think it was this location that it happened in. But also, this is also the location I believe that she was stabbed by the Memory Zone meme. So again, there's lots of stuff going on in my head right now, guys, but I'm sure you guys will give me the timeline more concretely. I'm sure you will.
Nothing strange here either. Wait, it's right here. I need to end this quickly.
Watch out! A dangerous presence lurks nearby.
Can she sense how powerful Firefly is?
Already? There's no time. Then I'll...
Or maybe she's Memory Zone, but then again, like, Firefly is so powerful that she would be picked up by... you know, she would be detected by Gopher.
It's fine, it's fine. At least I get to choose how to die.
Stop.
That alone is great.
I mean, again, we know it's not a final death, but, like, again, this is kind of like the notion that she had when she came to her friend as well. At least she got to choose how she died. At least I get to choose how I die. Which, again, is better than the death by the swarm.
Besides, this is just a dream. So it won't hurt
Seeing
that
this
much.
perspective is crazy, because this was one of the most harrowing and brutal moments in the entire game that, like, changed the course of Honkai Star Rail forever. And seeing it from the perspective of her, like, trying to work up the courage to die.
This is just my first death. I still have plenty of time to fulfill the promise we made together.
So crazy. Yeah, this is the cutscene. This is the cutscene. The two of them look to each other. Oh, and never like Stella looking right to her. Yeah, look at this. Oh, it's so. Look at her eyes. Oh my god.
Sorry.
Oh my god. It is so like. Was it always this? It was always this brutal, wasn't it? It was always this brutal. Oh my god, man. Even watching it now is still so brutal.
You should be able to recall at least some of what comes next.
Because like here's the thing, we know what happened to her. We know she's okay, right? We know she's alive. But like in that moment, I remember when we saw that originally, it was one of the most heartbreaking situations we ever saw in this game. But it's also even looking at this now, in this context, like her eyes. Knowing the meaning behind the eyes now, looking at Stell, still knowing that it hurt, still knowing that it was something that was terrifying her as well, right? It's still such a brutal thing to see. Holy hell. So in her mind, she felt as though this would take Acheron off guard, so like Acheron wouldn't use her blade against herself or the meme or Stell. It also would be a thing that would be able to give Stell some insight into maybe finding out what happened to her, or maybe giving some information on like what happened to her, especially with like the bubbles bursting as she died as well, and those things too. And also she wanted Stell to avoid a confrontation with this death as well, and she wanted to choose her the way she died as well the first time too. She got to choose this even if it was very dark too. I just realized I wasn't recording for this part, guys, but I just said, I don't only for like 2 seconds, but I'm just keeping what I said there because there's no point in repeating it. I'll just keep it over a frame of this maybe, but yeah.
Unfortunately, fate still played a cruel trick on her. The Memoria transformed so quickly that she didn't even have a chance to explain.
She disappeared so quickly, right? She disappeared so quickly.
After that, she arrived at Dreamflux Reef, land of the exiles, the true Penacony. The family went to great lengths to conceal its existence, using death as their justification.
Because we found out the Memory Zone meme is actually just kind of like a bus that takes you there, right?
However, at that time, she still couldn't venture deeper with peace of mind. Unable to reveal the truth, the situation that had worried her before continued to persist. She was burning with anxiety to return and get you away from the battlefield.
That's her mission, right? And also her care, right? She did care.
I reached out
Wait.
to help once again.
Are we gonna see that the Dahlia was there in Dreamflux Reef?
Her worst fears didn't materialize. Death retreated on its own, allowing you all to escape
Okay.
unscathed. After that, guided by Black Swan, you tried to uncover the truth behind
remember
Firefly's
this.
death. However, as you must have noticed, be it losing contact with her companions, or the embarrassment of being unable to activate her mech, those Memoria illusions were clearly left behind when she infiltrated Penacony from the memory zone. But that hardly matters. Because of Black Swan's blunder, Firefly gained the precious time she needed. When she appeared before you again, she was already using a different
So that was the
identity.
okay.
That encounter stirred the whirlpool of destiny, causing many paths to converge. And after you left,
This is when Black Swan separated Stell and brought her to Adventuring, right?
Do you still dream, Hunter,
I remember this question.
of those slain by your hand?
We're seeing this cutscene
I still
again,
see
which
them
is
in
so
my
sick.
dreams. Hold it. Your time hasn't come yet.
My time.
And again, with with added context, the idea of like, you know, talking about like Sam's time or Firefly's time, and also the people that they have destroyed in the past, or like the swarm they've destroyed in the past. It's interesting that it was almost like a perfect question. Do you still dream? You know, especially when Kafka's talking about the dream as convergence of the past. Like, it is a perfect, like, it's so great that going back to this, you're like, yeah, that was a perfect question to ask someone like Firefly. You know, do you still dream of the people you've slaughtered? But in this case, it's of the swarm probably as well, though.
I've seen many clever disguises that can conceal appearances, but they can never cover up who a person really is. And you're no different.
Cochran's like, I can sense you're a cutie patootie under that. I can sense that you're adorable.
You had no desire to kill the Trailblazer. You only did what you did to drive me and the Memo Keeper away, but why?
She wanted to, so it's in her mind she wanted to separate both Acheron and Black Swan from her. And Acheron picked up on this as well.
Did Destiny's slave make you do it?
Oh my god, Elio! Elio!
You know, Elio.
I'm trying to remember, was this the exact scene at the time, or are we picking up an added extra context? It's hard to remember sometimes, but we can always like just react to it as we go anyway.
I thought this is just the kind of thing that'd get written into your script.
It feels like they did talk about a script back then too.
My script has always been brief. Other than that, anything beyond that is unnecessary. Now it's my turn to ask. Who exactly are you?
So crazy that at this time I was so scared of Sam. This line here, my script is always a brief, other than that anything beyond is necessary, right? The idea, we also know that she factually does not read a lot of the scripts, right? She doesn't see like anything beyond like the needed stuff because I think she wants to have like a surprise, you know what I mean?
Why ask when you already know the answer?
Oh my god. And again, the added context of like the info she already had about Acheron at this point too, it's like, this is just two people who like know a little bit more about each other than they let on at the start. This is two people who have like different plans here that like Stella has no idea what each of them were doing at the time as well. But in a way, like both had like, in my view, like morally justified intentions by the end, you know?
I tend to forget things. Which is why, rather than memories, I'm accustomed to using my emotions to capture what I normally wouldn't otherwise. So, I know who is inside that cold armor.
Acheron.
Therefore, I can sense it. You know who I am. You know this blade, and the meaning that lies behind it. How about it? Ready to take off that armor and sit down for a talk?
It's not yet time. You shouldn't know so much. Lost Self-Annihilator.
Self-Annihilator.
Like I said, my memory isn't great. So you needn't worry. What's next then? The Trailblazer's been taken by Black Swan. Will you go look for her?
No need for that. No harm in telling you. On Penacony, Elio only gave me one instruction. Allow the Astral Express to pursue the Grand Legacy.
The brief part of the script here, just to, again, and that's what Firefly has been technically doing as well. But this conversation, again, I think we probably did hear at least this conversation before. I think we did. I think we definitely did. But obviously there's some added context for like some of these aspects as well. I love that. I love the idea that Acheron picked up on as well. Like, you were trying to separate us. I could tell. So already Acheron at this point kind of realized like you cared. But I think probably, I don't know if we did see this. If this was a conversation at the time, I imagine that my thoughts was probably like, oh, what's Sam has like some sort of plan here. Why on earth, like, you know, are they doing this? But it's so interesting that obviously like there was a plan that they're giving here as well, but also, as they said themselves, they did not want Stell to get hurt. It's so funny that beyond, as Acheron said, beyond this like armor that is, you know, shows Sam to be one of the most terrifying forces, which again, they are. Power-wise, they are so powerful. But underneath all that, they are one of the sweetest, most loveliest people that could ever exist.
The Astral Express is not your enemy. If your goal is the Watchmaker's legacy, then go look into the family. Not only are they covering up the existence of death, but they're burying the past and the truth about the dreamscape.
And this is killing two birds with one stone, right? It's like again, Firefly's worried that Acheron would put her blade against Stell, and the best way for her to do this is like, hey, Stell is not your enemy.
Already on it.
So cool. So cool. This is, if I remember this was a conversation happening, it's so cool. If not, then my memory's just bullcrap.
Before we part ways, let me give you a piece of advice. No matter which path you and I walk, death is the inevitable finale.
And saying this to Firefly as well, when Firefly just said also just recently, like, I'm going to end up like that anyway. This is a great exploration of Firefly, or like even like an expansion of Firefly's character, right? Even in the darkest of like terms.
Even if we say farewell in the mortal realm, we shall have one final reunion when Terminus ascends to godhood once more. And the same holds true on Penacony.
Adrilla's gonna slap the head off all the gods.
I've already been to the Dreamflux Reef. It's not a secret that's hard to uncover.
Well, I'm afraid you have yet to realize just how awake you truly are. It is precisely because life dares to slumber that they can awaken.
Ascends to godhood once more. Even if she's an emanator, she shouldn't.
Really cool conversation. Again, in terms of the emotions of Firefly.
After today, Japella's name will disappear from cosmic history.
This scene?
And the Everflame Mansion will take its place. In the not-too-distant future, you'll receive an invitation.
Interesting retread, right? Because this is an amazing scene as well. But yeah, the emotions of that scene as well, in the added context of like, you know, Firefly's story, it's like everything that Acheron said to Firefly is like, oh my god, that probably hits home like crazy. We're all gonna end up like dead at some point anyway. You know, who you are under that suit is not exactly you. You're someone different. Which again, Firefly probably loved hearing that in some ways. It's probably the rare time that, you know, someone who like doesn't even know her in some ways kind of does get her in some ways. Like, yeah, that's not exactly you. We know that's not exactly you under that whole suit as well. Knowing her goal, knowing her reason for being here, and then also like, you know, Firefly being able to communicate with Acheron back in a way that like didn't feel like she obviously knew Acheron from head to toe, but was like a way to like kind of like maybe deter her from even going to your cell. You could tell that the added context of the mission now, from like originally when I thought Sam was just like a cold-hearted like evil character, I was like, oh my god, Sam is terrifying. Now knowing that underneath all that suit, it was like the, you know, loudest heart in the history of Honkai Star Rail. Yeah.
That's your next stop.
Land of the Dreams, Penacony.
This is an amazing scene, and I don't know why they're showing the full scene of this, because again, like, but I guess added context now with Firefly's story is kind of a beautiful thing, but this is a beautiful scene.
I hope you find whatever you seek there. Be it answers or salvation.
I just remember Blade being very gentle with her here.
Thanks. I hope. Huh? A phone call? At a time like this?
You can turn him down. You know what I mean.
Turn him down?
But Elio said I'm the perfect candidate.
Candidate. So Elio finally came to a conclusion.
Yes. He said he saw the fourth fate clearly. There won't be any more surprises. He also chose me as the last survivor.
Wait.
Just like her.
The last survivor? Wait. Wait. Is it gonna be Stell and Firefly as the ones against Nanook? Is that what they're saying here? The last survivor?
Which path is
What?
it?
The Nihility. After it engulfs everything, I must be the last survivor. Giving my all to turn the tide.
So wait, she's fighting against Nihility and then Stell fights against destruction? Is that what we're getting at here? What is it, like the last survivor? But she says just like Stell, and Stell is also a candidate to fight against Nanook, right? So against she's fighting against Nihility, she's fighting against destruction?
How ruthless.
What the hell? So this isn't the same scene.
However, it's a bit different from the other three. Before that, I have other
Wait.
matters that need my attention.
Wait, 3? He saw the fourth fate clearly. Does that mean there's like 2 other candidates, or is it just saying that like this is a potential path? Is there 4 candidates to be last survivors? And in Firefly's context, she's saying she has to fight. Once Nihility engulfs everything, she was the last survivor to turn the tide. She's the last survivor. Cell also has to be the last survivor. We know Cell is going against destruction, right, with Nanook. Oh man, this is...
If possible, I must prevent her from being tainted by the power of Nihility. Even the slightest trace of it. After all, everything she carries is not only heavier, but also more precious.
If possible is a bit vague.
I suppose, if it comes to that, even if I have to die for it, I cannot
I really
run
want to
away.
know more about this the survivor stuff. And she says here, I'm gonna, obviously we can screenshot this as well, but like, she says she has to like present Estelle from being tainted by the Nihility as well. Even the slightest trace of it. Even if she has to die for it.
In the future that Elio foresaw, we never had an ending.
This is what she said
But
at the start.
I still have a chance to wrestle back from fate the right to have a beginning.
So Elio never saw the ending of Stell and Firefly's story, but she still believes that she's allowed to have like this new beginning with Stell. That's what I'm getting from this. Not long after the what the hell just happened? One of the last survivor candidates. Open up that chest
Your
there.
guest room in reality is surprisingly modest.
Because to me, that's what it sounded like. If Stella's like a last survivor, maybe against... Because that's what they use the word as, right? A last survivor? Yeah. Is that why in the Extole 8, Silverwolf was looking at the pod of Firefly saying it's all up to her now? What the hell?
an aesthetic you share, Miss Acheron. It's a cinch. This music box. The invitation received by the Annihilation Gang. There are latent memories that linger
Oh, so
on
she was
it
able to
yet.
tell from that as well.
You see, memories of you are not yours alone. They travel in other people, other things. I know much, and I can predict even more. With some help, the dead can be made to speak.
What, does she mean the Annihilation Gang themselves?
The Annihilation Gang, that band of desperados who all disappeared after meeting you. What exactly happened to them? Well, let me reveal
My
all.
mind is mending now, like, melding together, because I'm like, did we see this before? Did we not see it? You know what I mean? But I'm just gonna, even if I don't remember it fully, I think we're just gonna go along for the ride. You know what I mean? Even if it's something we did see before, didn't see before, we're gonna go along for the ride, for sure.
Gradation 12. Dreamscape 12. Father, I dedicate this to you.
Well done, Dubra.
Dubra.
Wherever they go, shall be met by annihilation.
Okay.
There it is. It's hazy, but it's Ifrit's voice. The other one is probably his progeny. This is the residual memory from when the invitation was first delivered. They were abruptly interrupted. Then, what happened next is...
I just, it was just the video. Ah! I just cut off there.
In the land of sleep, merely wishing for undisturbed rest, away from the storms. Children of the flame, this marks your rite of passage.
Great voice acting always, isn't it?
She won't be necessary. I alone am
Is this
enough.
just the trailer?
When have those on the path of destruction feared death?
I think this is just what happened in the trailer, right?
The Everflame Mansion has set out on a journey. Those poor people, they have no idea what lies in wait ahead of them. Memory recovery is going well, but slowly. She'll be here soon, and time is short. There's nobody else here, so there's no need to be delicate. In fact, I think I'd better go all out.
Oh my god, something shocks Black Swan.
What happened?
Oh, it's all redacted as well.
The memory after that is blank. How is that possible? This music box fell into Acheron's hands, and she brought it to Penacony. That's a fact, and that's how it should have gone. But along the way...
Something happened? All these redacted memories?
It's like it's been erased. Who's done this?
Wait, someone erased the... Wait, so she's saying that, like, the music box still fell into Acheron's hand, and that's how, like, she got the invitation to go to Penacony. She knows this is true, but she's like, someone erased this memory. Someone erased this. It's all redacted.
Who are you? Who are you?
Wait.
It's...
Black Swan.
No. Is this not a memory?
You know when Black Swan's a little bit shook, that we all should be shook?
Oh, a memo keeper. Do you serve the Garden of Recollection? Or the Cremators?
Wait. What the hell's happening here?
My name is Constance.
Is that not the Dahlia?
Pleasure to meet you. We were supposed to meet in Penacony and spend an unforgettable time together.
Was this not what she said on the radio?
But that seems unrealistic. Dahlia is not welcome on the Banquet Star, and I don't need a coming-of-age ceremony. And you, I know what you're looking for.
But this message is interesting because Dahlia being like saying like I was supposed to come here, but I didn't get to come here. I'm not welcome on the star. But like in her words, she then arrived here though, right?
Want her secret? I can give it to you. And then you can enjoy the banquet for.
Like, am I not mistaken that this was the message on the radio?
I wish you.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
Unforgettable memories.
But this is a memory. This is a memory. It says voice in the memory. And this is clearly the Dahlia.
Cut the mystical act. I'm absolutely certain you're not thousands of miles away.
Oh my god, I love Black Swan figuring this out then.
In that primordial memory zone, my acuity was blocked at every turn. I thought it was because of the family, but it turns out there was a colleague present. What brings you here?
My, how aggressive. Are you backed into a corner? Or have you figured something out? What could bring Constance of the Everflame Mansion here?
And after claiming that she wasn't going to be coming here.
That's your fatal flaw, mysterious cremator. The Annihilation Gang has always operated in plain sight, with no secrets among its members. And Duke Inferno has never had an offspring named Constance.
What? What? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh? Are you so sure? What if I'm just too
Oh my
capricious
freaking god.
and can't help but betray anyone?
And she just showed up right at that moment as well. What does Black Swan mean?
That's impossible. The Antimatter Legion has been after her this whole time.
Has been after the Dahlia?
Aren't you the same? The Garden of Recollection launched 14 pursuits trying to erase me. And in that final one, I died right in front of you, didn't I?
What? What?
It really is you.
What?
To interrupt another's reunion.
What is...
Such a graceless act. But by all means...
What is happening?
After this, we'll have ourselves a nice long talk about your ingratitude, my dear
My cellmates? What that just happened? What?
That's a peculiar look on your face. Before this, I was always anxious about this moment. Always afraid you might find me frightening.
She said there's no one in the Everflame Mansion other than named Constance. And that the Antimatter Legion has been searching for the Dahlia. And then the Dahlia said, like, you found me and killed me? What is happening? You were involved too?
Of course. Everything about Penacony is more important than you think.
No, but explain. Explain.
To prevent other terrible outcomes, the Stellaron hunters were forced to use great power.
Oh, I think Stella's asking, oh, you were involved too? Like, as a Stellaron hunter, you were there too? It's pretty terrifying.
If you're willing, and if you can endure it, I can keep going. Or perhaps... Would you prefer to indulge in my double
Oh my god,
standards?
just say exactly what you mean, Dahlia, please. Just say exactly what you mean.
Yeah, we were quite close. Don't get the wrong idea from how I phrased it back then. I've always thought that when two people are locked in a knife fight, with their blades pressed to each other's throats, they become more intimate than any pair of dancers.
Wait, is this because she tried to hunt you, or did hunt you down, apparently? You said she killed you. Or erased her, was the word erased? No, not never mind, let's continue. Not never mind. Put down everything right now and explain everything. I know what she said. If you explain a memory, then it becomes more distorted. So we have to go through the memories. But Jesus Christ, dude, what the hell was that? There was nobody under the Everflame Mansion named Constance. But we saw the trailer with Constance there, right? Is this messing with memories again? Did she mess with the Everflame Mansion's memories? She said that she might have betrayed them. She was being capricious. A capricious son.
Now, let's turn our gaze to where the threads of destiny intertwine. Soon after, you finally learned Black Swan's intentions. She made a deal with the IPC to bring you before Aventurine.
What a deal.
In order to reclaim Penacony, the IPC had been seeking temporary
I would have done this
allies.
for free.
As a show of initial sincerity, he revealed his discovery to you. The crime scene of Robin's death that was staged by
So that's what they're talking about with the death of Robin, with Sparkle killing her.
From that moment on, Aventurine embarked upon his great gamble.
This is crazy because this is just Act 2 of Penacony. This is Act 2.
Willing to shatter the cornerstone as precious as life itself, he deceived Sunday with his schemes, earning himself a chance to risk it all. With such a high-stakes gamble, he succeeded in provoking the Emanator's strike. The family's carefully guarded secret was exposed, and you, caught in the eye of the storm, were pulled into the chaos.
This was all of a way of getting the IPC a... Look at all the chips, by the way, of getting the IPC more of a foothold in this place. So obviously it was like, you know... I think it was also a break for Aventurine as well in a very dark way, right, you know?
But that's all about the living. In the same moment, what became of those within the world of the dead? Miss Robin arrived at Dreamflux Reef ahead of you. But what awaited her wasn't the uncertainty of a gamble, but rather a destined life and a destined death.
Okay, now we're switching to Robin's POV again.
Brother, I don't understand. For a bird, does flying also need a why?
Since it falls to us to decide whether to release it back to the sky, we must take responsibility for that choice.
I don't care when anyone says, man, I freaking love the birdcage analogy because it's not only just like, yes, people go like, oh, they overdo it or whatever, but for me, like, because it applies to like nearly every single solitary character within Penacony, like you can apply it to Aventurine, you can apply it to Firefly, you can apply it to Robin, you can apply it to Sunday. You can apply it to the Trailblazers in general, right? Like it's an analogy that can apply to all the main characters, even like Acheron as well. You can apply it to anybody, and it works on like even Sparkle. It applies on a smaller level and a bigger level. That's why I'm always just like, yeah, it's cool. You know what I mean? Because it's not about like the content, the actual the content of the analogy. It's also the my wave armor is making creaky noises. I need to oil it up, I guess. But it's also the how they apply to everybody as well.
That really sounds like Mr. Gopher would.
Guileless girl.
But I've made up my mind. Let it soar free and wild. If I had feathers and wings like it does, I definitely want to fly. Even if just to try it once.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, Big Brother will help it, right?
But
It's truly reassuring to hear such words before parting. Come, Sunday. Your little sister will be walking ahead of you now.
Ahead.
Mr. Gopherwood, how did you...
The gods bestowed upon us heavenly fire, and with it divine tribulations. Let them be, for we are all mortals, born to love and to suffer.
The gods bestowed upon us heavenly fire, and with the divine tribulations, let them be, for we are all mortals, born to love and suffer.
Today, more than one little bird will embark on their long journey. How could I miss the moment of your departure? Come here, child. I've prepared a farewell gift for you.
What did she give you? Miss Robin?
She was kind of lost in her own memories there.
Sorry. Where was I?
In Dream's Edge, a masked fool attacked you and left behind a parting gift.
Sparkle?
Though it's hard to call it a gift. When the fool killed me, they put a mask on my face.
How dare? Covering that face?
But when I woke up in Dreamflux Reef, it was gone, and I couldn't feel any effects from it.
As for that mask of yours, is it really called the Harmony? The twin of the
And again,
Order.
that's stuff by Ina as well, right?
She might be hinting at something, but I still can't figure out what she means.
Still love that. If you put Sparkle, I guarantee if you put Sparkle in the middle of Amphoreus, like Act 2 of Amphoreus, she'd be like, looks like this is all an extrapolation. You're like, what is she on about? And then later on, you're like, oh my god, she was right. I guarantee you, she'd figure out what was happening by Act 2 would tell nobody. You know what I mean? This all just doesn't feel real, does it? You know, she'd say something like that. You know she would figure out Amphoreus in the first 2 minutes, you know?
Speaking of which, how is that anomaly of yours doing now?
I'm gradually getting better. There's no denying that Dreamflux Reef also spreads the Harmony, and it hasn't been affected by the family's traitor.
It also spreads the harm. Okay, and it has. Okay.
As for my loss of voice, I still need to keep investigating. Perhaps I've been wearing a mask all along, without even
And this is
realizing
what Sparkle said to her about the idea of like you wouldn't even know you were wearing a mask at that point. At the point of taking it off.
If you need any help, just say the word.
He's like, I don't know about that, but just let me know. I don't know what you're talking about, Robin, but yep.
Thanks to your help, I'm starting to get familiar with this place.
Doesn't that not feel like, you know, that you talk about like your problems to someone and then someone goes, Jesus, it's rough, buddy, but like, hey, if you need any help, you know.
But Dreamflux Reef is so isolated. Is there any way to know what's happening outside? I want to check on my brother's situation.
That's easy. Just head to where all the action is. Want me to show you the way?
I'll take a walk around by myself.
That's so Robin.
Thanks, Mr. Micah.
Micah? It's very Robin to want to take the walk around herself as well. I think it's interesting as well, like, you know, that, you know, Sparkle is a character who, like, obviously is very, very, you know, bad. She's a character that has said some really horrible stuff as well, but no one can deny as well. Again, as we say with any characters we're not going to be a big fan of morally or personally. But, like, Sparkle seems to be, in my view, in Pentecoin. I said this, like, very early on in the start of the Pentecoin as well, because, like, I kind of, like, didn't... I know, like, it's not me saying, like, oh, I knew it, because I think a lot of people felt the same way, too. It was, like, the idea that, like, I felt Sparkle was trying, like, in some ways to guide people towards the right answer, because, again, that was her goal. And I feel like even with Robin here as well, with the mask stuff also, it feels like, again, she is trying to, like... God, did we know it was... Sparkle who did the death thing with her? Because I feel like who did the death with the memory zone thing, or what was that something different again? It's so confusing sometimes as well, like the timeline. But I feel like I'm kind of like thinking that I have to be like that dog in the meme that like closes her eyes, you know. I think I just have to be prepared for Honkai Star Rail to do stories like this from now on, you know, where it's like a constant wave of like, what do you think is happening? You know what I mean? That kind of way, with like, you know, 40% of like solid information as well, you know, in the moment. Yeah. But yeah, it's very Robin to want to walk around the place yourself. Oh man, this place is so nostalgic. This was such a magical moment when we came here for the first time.
Miss Robin, can you hear me? That voice.
Is that...
Over here.
Firefly?
Are you...
Yeah.
Miss Firefly?
So you did notice me after all. Sorry, but I can't show myself right now. Could we talk somewhere more private?
This is such an interesting connection here, especially with this candle, I suppose.
To be honest, I have no reason to trust you.
I wish I could reach through the screen and be like, you two should be besties, of all people.
I get it, but I can assure you this isn't a trap. If you really need a reason, there are anomalies in the 12 hours. We are suspicious of the Dream Master's true identity.
This will perk up Robin's ears. Yep, that's gonna perk up her ears because she knows there's something wrong here too, right? She knows there's anomalies. She knows there's something that's happening here that's not good.
Lead the way. But let me be clear. Agreeing to me doesn't imply anything about my stance.
I mean, here's the thing though, right? Like, I can sit here and be like, yeah, Robin and Firefly, if they got to know each other, would like be the best of buds, right? But the fact is, from Robin's perspective, this is a strange person who came in here and started talking about death, who she has no idea who they are. She followed them and still has no real idea who they are as well. For all she knows, this is like an infiltrator. You know what I mean? This is someone, again, and like, Robin's not stupid either, you know what I mean? While like it's a situation where like we can sit here and be like, oh, Robin, that's Firefly, that's our buddy. From her perspective, again, it's just like she's being cautious. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's one of those things that like people can sometimes maybe play up the idea. And I'm a perpetrator of this as well, and that's, I apologize if I am that too. Where sometimes because Sunday handles a lot of the very like deep political stuff with the family sometimes. We can sometimes brush aside the idea that Robin also has been dealing with this stuff and these intricate political things and social things and people her whole entire life as well. You know, I mean, it's why she so like quickly realized about Sprout. Well, because she loved her brother too, but like, yeah, she's a cautious person. That's not a bad thing. She's a trusting but cautious person. I think it adds a layer to her character that makes her feel very smart.
Understood. My companion will show you the way.
Companion? It's gonna be Blade. Right this way. Robin, can you sing me a song? No, not that song. What song do you want me to play? Do you know
Blue flames.
any TLC?
Is there a cremator among Miss Firefly's companions?
Oh, the stuff with the doll. Again, I don't know what's happening with the Dahlia anymore, guys. This is what the candles mean as well. This is so effed. It's so warped and crazy, dude. I have no idea what's happening. Through here? I wouldn't trust her either.
Miss Firefly, you can show yourself now.
Follow me to the TV behind the cage, why don't ya?
Sorry, just a moment. My companion will bring you this way shortly.
This way?
Like, it would be hard to trust, right? Hey, where should we meet up? Meet me at the cage, with the TV behind it.
Where is this?
As expected of
Oh
the
my
Harmony's
God.
favorite. Passing through such dense memoria without even being affected in the slightest.
How's she gonna react to the Dahlia?
Hello. You may call me the Dahlia for now. This is our cozy new home in the sweet dream, where words may flow more freely.
A new home burned out of the sweet dream? If you really wish to have a proper conversation, you shouldn't resort to provocation
So
like
can you
this.
guys explain why this might be a bad idea? Like in Robin's mind, the idea of a new home. Is it because like it's someone infiltrating the dream and someone affecting the dream in some ways? And maybe like she's already on edge from people like someone, doing something bad to the dream? What's so interesting about this as well, again, we're showing that side of Robin that is so great. That is so, again, it's not one of those, Robin was always like, again, I want to make clear, intelligent, beautiful, amazing, open, heartwarming, and so comforting. She's all those things in between, right? She's talented as well, of course. But I love that we're seeing more of the side of her that, like, again, would have been needed within Penacony, which is the cautious side of things. Because while I said, like, she is the optimistic bone of Penacony, and that is what she is, I love that we're also seeing that, yeah, she was also like, hey, if you wanted this to be a proper conversation, you shouldn't be doing stuff like this.
I apologize. But she's different from
Oh,
other
it's because she's a
creators.
cremator. Okay.
She has no intention of stealing memories. The same goes for me. I have never wished to destroy the sweet dream. Sneaking into the dream was my only option.
If she can explain that she just wanted to, well, if they can explain everything that she just wanted to save Stell, it's so cool that like, how do you guys feel about this being afterwards? I think that after we went through like a lot of the stuff, like it probably is like cooler to go back because you get to go, oh, that moment. But like, I feel like there probably will be some people that would have preferred this context within the actual story itself. But I definitely would like to hear you guys' opinion on that.
I really like Penacony as a tourist. This is my first time dreaming. And Penacony is more wonderful than I imagined.
Thanks. So, what brings you here?
The way Robin said thanks, just like it was her, and you can see here too, Robin's eyes soften because I think Robin is not not a bad judge of character, and people might say, well, Calvin, she didn't realize what Sunday was doing. That's again a great character writing. The fact that she can pick out what Sparkle's doing wrong, she can look in the crowd and see Firefly is a little bit suspicious. But the thing right under her nose is a little bit more difficult to find. Of course, eventually she would realize it as well, but like, I love her eyes softening here when she realizes who Firefly is. It's such a beautiful moment.
I'm sure you've noticed it too. The Dream Master Gopher would completely merge with the dreamscape, becoming virtually omniscient and omnipotent in Penacony. But now, he's losing his grip on the dreamscape.
I'm just gonna say, girls, having his music in the background does not help your case. But she's trying to explain to her like what's happened with Gopher, and again, it's saying as well, like, you know, this is probably something you felt as well.
To find out why, we conducted some investigations. In the primordial dreamscape, we uncovered a crime that he had buried away. We suspect that's why his powers aren't what they used to be. And that's why he's been telling everyone he's under the weather.
So he doesn't have the same power that he used to, okay?
Crime? I'll show you later. Belonging to his family. You wouldn't believe me unless you saw it with your own eyes.
Maybe they told us what the crime was before as well, but like, and maybe I just like legitimately like don't remember the. I'm sure once we see it, if it is something we remember, we will know the context of it, I suppose.
You've indeed uncovered many clues. But before we proceed, I must confirm your true intentions.
My purpose is about a reunion, a rescue, and a farewell.
This is all to do with Stell, right? A reunion with Stell, a rescue of Stell, and a proper farewell to Stell?
Will you believe me?
Miss Firefly, that expression and tone of yours just now, I've seen it many times in my audience.
I love that, again, is that her expression is softened, because that's what happens to all of us when we talk to Firefly.
Expression?
That's the look one has when describing what they hold most dear in their heart. So I'll trust you this time.
That's lovely. Oh my god, I love this.
When I first left Penacony, the Dream Master gave me a parting gift. A divine law, so to speak.
For a leader of the 5 lineages, that's pretty cheap, isn't it?
Since then, I've walked the path of harmony as a path strider, wielding its power.
She's a path strider.
Until I returned once again for the Charmony Festival. In the 12 hours converged by the Dream Master, I developed symptoms of losing my voice, and the strength of the harmony began to wane. Yet in Dreamflux Reef, I wasn't affected at all.
So she started losing her voice, but then when she went to the Dreamflux redungeon, which she didn't feel it whatsoever. I think that's when she was also singing for people and, yeah.
I believe that the path he once pointed to might not have been named the Harmony.
This is Robin realizing this too.
That's why I gradually became incompatible with the sweet dream.
Ah.
In the past, the Dream Master would harmonize for me. But when he was too busy to tend to me, I finally noticed something
So
was
this
wrong.
is, of course, stuff we're getting reminders of like what happened to Robin as well, right? But Robin is explaining here that she is a path strider of Harmony, and so because Ina and the Order was actually the thing that was like infecting Penacony, and since that's what Gopher was following in the other parts of Penacony, in the Dreamflux Reef it was still full of Harmony, in the other areas it was the Order. So that's why she wasn't able to sing up above, but she was able to sing down below.
So, which path did he choose to walk?
You know the Order, right?
It's not clear yet. There aren't many clues about this. But I suspect it's the Order.
But we know that Robin eventually got the idea of the Gopher wasn't good either, right? And again, as we said, she's not dumb, right? But I love that she's figured all this out as well.
Thank you, Miss Robin. You've helped us clear up many of our doubts. However, regarding the Dream Master's path, we have different conjectures.
I also want to just say how happy I am that I have Firefly and Robin in the same room together chatting with each other.
What is it?
Come with me. It's time to see it with your own eyes.
What is it? Oh god. Leave the room. This room is This is the room that she had with Stell. This is the room. This is indeed the room that Stell was in the room with the Dahlia, right? For sure. For sure.
Thank you, Miss Robin. You've helped us clear up many of our doubts. However, regarding the Dream Master's path, we have different conjectures.
This is what she said before as well. Let's go. Let's see what it's all about. Leave the room is such a great... Oh?
Here lie secrets that the family tried to conceal. And a long, romantic tale. Sadly, most of it has nothing to do with us.
Brooklyn Tiernan. I remember that name. A Galaxy Ranger, worthy of admiration. When Penacony was plagued by the swarm disaster in the past, he was the one who fearlessly protected our sweet dream.
That's why we had to come here. We suspect that after turning away from the family, the Dream Master sided with the propagation.
And this is what they were talking about earlier with the propagation as well, right?
How could that be?
History as we know it may be long gone, but people's memories remain preserved in the memory zone. If we can master the technique, we'll be able to pierce through time itself and salvage the past from chaos.
I definitely want to read the propagation again in the databank for sure.
Is this Memoria?
Wait, who's this? And that's AR-214, right?
Every disaster brought by the swarm was accompanied by countless sacrifices. Some names were remembered, but others were not only forgotten, but betrayed.
What are you doing? I am not your enemy. Indeed. Our true foe is that abominable fate.
Wait, this is Gopher. Where'd you get to see Gopherwood? This design is so detailed, man.
Then why?
Did Gopherwood destroy AR-214?
Easy, child. Your struggle only adds to the pain.
What is he doing?
The strike I just delivered, dishonorable though it may be, did not miss.
He didn't die to the swarm.
Here and now, your death is certain.
He did not die to the swarm, he died to Gopherwood.
But I was clearly helping fight against the swarm here.
What the hell is happening?
Indeed. As the swarm ran rampant, a Glamoth knight passing through.
Very sleazy character already, right?
Without asking for anything in return. Truly admirable.
Yeah.
But have you ever wondered why, right after that, the infestation only grew worse?
Wait, he said, is something to do with fate?
Could it be?
Were they following AR-214?
The Glamoth Knight, born to purge the swarm, turned out to be a pathstrider.
Whoa.
Walking the path of propagation. The sweet dream has never been tainted by the propagation.
What?
You brought it here, and only your death can remove
Is that what brought the swarm with him? He brought the swarm with him.
How can
Oh my god, so he came here, thought he was doing something amazing, but he actually brought the swarm and made the swarm worse?
I can leave and never come
This
back
is so
here.
horrible after escaping the propagation. Finding out you were a pathstrider of the propagation, and finding out that you made the swarm much worse, something that you were fighting against your whole entire life.
I can't die.
No!
I don't want to die.
This is so horrible.
That's precisely why I said that strike wasn't honorable. I explored your secrets for the sake of the sweet dream. But striking you down, that came from selfish desires after glimpsing eternity.
Wait, so he did it selfishly? He said to do with fate, right? He said here at the start. Sorry, here it is. Our true foe was fate, and now he's saying that he glimpsed eternity.
Paradise shall fall into this world of sorrow, and once dawn breaks, it will shatter in the light of day. How could anything golden abide in glory forever?
Paradise shall fall into the world of sorrow. Once dawn breaks, it shall shatter the light of day. Paradise shall fall into a world of sorrow. And that's Pentagony, right? And once dawn breaks. So is it like, how can anything that's perfect be perfect forever?
You shall become my darkest crime, in the beginning of a great undertaking.
It's crazy how, like, now in this context, Gopherwood is way more tied to, like, Firefly's character than we even thought. Like, what they did to AR-214. And what they made on their own selfish undertaking.
Your remains shall become the foundation for eternal paradise.
What? So they're going to use a pathstrider of the propagation to build an eternal paradise? What the hell?
You're quite familiar with the Memoria, so you should be able to tell whether this memory is fabricated
Jesus,
or not.
dude. Because that's one. So he's going to use the remains of AR-214 to create. Is that the eternal paradise that he wanted to create with Sunday? Then does that mean that like it wasn't just the order that, but he was also following the propagation at the time?
Laying the foundation for eternal paradise? This...
At that time, she was trying to escape her own destiny. The So when the swarm was discovered on Penacony, she didn't just stand idly by. Even though she died while fighting against the swarm, it wasn't destiny catching up with her.
It was Gopherwood for their own selfish ideals.
It was her own choice. Because, like any ordinary person, she had a conscience.
Oh.
And knew compassion.
Oh no, sorry, I got that wrong. When she was saying that, like, because she was, when she said she didn't, although she died while fighting against the swarm, wasn't destiny catching up with her. I thought they meant, like, who did that strike in that moment. No, they meant in terms of, like, why she chose to be here. It was her choice. She wanted to be here through her own compassion. Okay, I get that. Sorry, I was like, it's Gopherwood.
Is she your friend?
Yes. And in many moments, looking at her is like seeing myself.
She relates to the idea of, again, as she said, she will eventually feels like she will end up in that same place. She's someone who escaped and tried to find her own path, something a Firefly wanted to do as well. They both have the same origins, the same enslavement. It's all gonna remind you of, like, yourself, right? Of course.
I know it won't undo what's been done, but I'm sorry. No matter what purpose the Dream Master has,
Say it louder for people in the
it
back.
doesn't give him the right to sacrifice anyone.
Please, 110 million %. And I know someone's going to say, well, what about the Stellar Hunters who did this here or there? I know the Stellar Hunters aren't perfect. I know they're not. I know they've done stuff that's not great, but they've also factually saved the world. In this case, it's one of those things where I totally agree. It's like, I'm glad that Robin isn't trying to, like, make excuses or anything like that. She's like, no, this is just wrong.
I promise you, when all of this is over, regardless of the outcome,
Wow, Robin.
I'll tell everyone about her deeds. She deserves to be remembered by the sweet
Incredible.
dream.
Incredible. And what better way to do it than, like, someone who is, like, so respected.
Thank you.
And I think it's also adds the idea of, like, letting them have a life and having their own stake in the world, letting them be a part of this world. If Robin proclaims the actions of what the AR-214, then it makes them more real, it makes them more tangible, it makes it like it is part of Penaconian history, right? And all of a sudden it becomes part of this universe, like, in everyone's minds. It makes it more real, right?
But there's one thing I don't understand. Even if the Dream Master is after the power of the propagation, there are plenty of swarms left in the cosmos. Why resort to killing?
That's exactly why we came to find you. With the Charmony Festival about to begin, it can't be a mere coincidence that the Dream Master is pushing forward with his various machinations now. And you were chosen to perform for the Harmony. Whether you're aware of it or not, you must be absolutely crucial to his plan.
And that's why Sunday took her place, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I see.
It's so cool seeing, like, this added... I actually think this adds a lot to the Penaconian story. Like, at first I wasn't sure. I thought it was just going to be some cool stuff. I actually think this adds... I think this makes Penacony even better. In terms of, like, just seeing, like, these other sides and stuff.
You want me to become the conduit to retrieve the past from the memory zone? What exactly do I need to do?
I'll need to temporarily take a piece of your memory. By letting it stir up the memory zone, I can follow the flow of memoria and burn a path through, retrieving scenes from the past once again.
Okay, so she's going to... Okay, just think so I get this right. Become a conduit to receive the past from the memory zone. And through that, Dahlia is going to stir up the memory zone. She's going to follow the flow of memoria, retrieving scenes from the past once again. Okay.
Whether I succeed or not, I'll return your memories to you safe.
Is that what she's trying to do with Stella right now, too?
Let a cremator access my memories?
I also think it's too much to ask. If you deem it necessary, you can use tuning to leave a safeguard in our minds, preventing any ulterior
Guys,
motives.
I know, like, this isn't the point right now, but just seeing Robin and Firefly together just warms my freaking heart. Even if it's under, like, very dire circumstances, like, this is so beautiful to me. Two of the most amazing characters in the entire game. And Firefly making a very necessary suggestion here. I love how Robin's such a pillar here. And she's always been like a pillar of Penacony, but I mean like in terms of like her personal character here, she's so strong. She's so powerful.
There's no need. Let's get started.
Oh, she's like, let's just do it.
May the harm that befalls you never lead to your downfall. This is a blessing that has been passed down through the family for generations. I don't want all trust to be built upon mutual threats.
Wow, she's trying to build that bridge.
So this is what star power looks like. You've even made me a little
right, she's
starstruck.
this like pillar of Penacony. She's the pillar of hope, right? Like she opens her mouth and all of a sudden all of us are just like, oh, you're so right, Robin. Oh God.
All right. Looks like we got lucky. Oh? What's this? A piece of worm-eaten oak?
Worm-eaten oak?
Found something new?
This time, I'm afraid we've uncovered quite a disaster. Let's go see it with our own eyes.
It's so crazy how Dahlia is just like literally just added herself to all these stories here. You know what I mean? And she was there in Penacony, but it's always so strange. Like when it flashes into my mind. Look at this crew, by the way. Every college friends.
Nothing but lies, my dear.
Black Swan?
Hiding behind the title of a memo keeper? Tell me.
Black Swan?
How long have you been
Black
lying
Swan?
to them?
Black Swan?
You really seem determined to savor those unforgettable moments, don't you? Be smart and take a hint. I don't have time to entertain you.
So she's not a memo keeper? She's not at all a memo keeper? Because I thought, like again, like she said she's a memo keeper who also happened to be part of the Flame Mansion, but I thought she was infiltrating it and also happens to be a stellar hunter. But like I believe Black Swan right away.
Oh, because you're busy pretending to be a Stellaron hunter.
Black Swan, oh my God. Oh my God. So that explains, right, like, the confusion over, like, how. Because, again, as I said, it's not like I'm saying, like, oh, I knew. I'm saying that, like, we were thinking to at the time, like, oh, like, it would make sense that they wouldn't be able to tell us. It's not like I'm saying, oh, I knew. It's more of a case of just, like, all this retconning, all this stuff about I'm a stellar hunter, I'm a memory keeper. It's not, it's legitimately her retconning. She is retconning this. She's like adding herself into it in this place. But then how does Firefly know her then? Is that just messing with her memories? Oh my God, Black Swan. I love that Black Swan's the one to realize this too. This is like two powerful like wizards, you know, like you're not who you say you are, you know? That's so freaking sick. So she's pretending to be a stellar hunter, pretending to be a memo keeper. So was she just like, yeah, she's the cremator? Is that what she is? That's all she is?
Who are you talking about?
Wait.
Quite the clever move there. Miss Firefly, if you're willing to take my advice, why not to make a trip back to reality? Ask that silver wolf lady carefully who your true companions
Oh my God, oh my God. Okay, so again, it's Firefly. When she came here to this freaking place, she was seeing the world differently. Even Silver was like, what are you talking about? And then she got cut off from Silver, and that's when she met the Dahlia? Right? Oh my freaking God. As I said, okay, I want to make it clear. As I said, I didn't know, right? Of course, I'm not trying to be like, I knew. I'm saying that, like, after I was editing last time, I did the post discussion afterwards, like, because again, I wanted to look over some stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, she's like, you know, should not be trusted fully, right? And again, that's not me saying like, I knew she would pretend to be this, I knew she would pretend to be that. I didn't say that. I'm saying that like, it's so cool that the game can bring up like this idea of like, should you trust her? She's a bit suspicious, right? But then still these moments are like, oh my God, how much was she lying about? Then is Stell doing okay? What's happening with Stell, right? That's so cool, right? That's so cool. And now we look back and we go, oh my God, so like this whole time, Firefly has had her maybe perception of the world kind of warped and messed up. But does that, wait, if that's the case, then was the Dahlia actually ever really like here on Penacony? Like I know she was here, she was talking to Black Swan, but then Black Swan said she... You know what I mean? I think has she legit been retconning herself into the story? Is that what legit has been happening? I love this feeling. I love this feeling of confusion because it's like, oh my god, it like blew the lid on everything, right? Because I love that it's possible that this stuff can happen, right? That like there's some, like again, that like we didn't know about that she was infiltrating the Everflame mansion and she was pretending when she was actually Stellar Hunter and they didn't tell us about it. It's possible that your memories can be taken away from you, all of these things, right? Which again, I don't know if that's still what's happening with Cell, but now well, obviously we can't trust her with Cell either. But as we said, there's always like a thing where it's like, can we trust her? Which, is that why Kafka at the start as well broke us free from all this stuff? Oh, we remembered Kafka? Did Kafka try to connect with us in that moment?
How did you... All right, you. Still
Black
can't
Swan,
help
man.
sticking your nose into everything, huh?
It feels so good. It feels so good. It feels good to have like a revelation like this again, because again, it's one of those things where like we had no idea about the Dahlia's intentions fully, right? We just like thought that maybe like she was like a mixture of telling the truth and also we should be suspicious of her. But like everything, you know what I mean? Because like there's a possibility in your head you're like, oh, maybe she's like, you know, not actually like... No, I never thought that though. I never thought, oh, she's not actually a Memo Keeper, she's not actually a Stellar Hunter. I just thought that like maybe she was just someone we can't trust. I thought there was a distinct possibility that like, again, they wouldn't have told us about one of the Stellar Hunters, or we don't know all the Stellar Hunters. My thought process was, as you guys know, was like, I thought that she was like infiltrating the Everflame mansion. And that like, it's possible she could be like, again, the Stellar Hunter we never heard about. And maybe like she also has like these Memo Keeper powers. Maybe she's just someone who like, just like is a jack of all trades. But then like, it's like one of those things where it's like, the game does a really good job of making everything she says feel like a bit suspicious, right? It makes everything feel like a bit like, okay. And again, I'll admit, I didn't notice until like editing that I was like, oh, I should even be more suspicious of this character than I was, right? For sure. But I didn't know it was like she was just faking everything. Absolutely everything. That means she's faking even the stuff with Stell, possibly? With the stuff with the memories? Because how can we trust her with Stell then when she told Stell I'm a Stellar Hunter and a Memo Keeper? She lied to Stell also. Wait, what?
Who exactly are you people?
What did she just do with... What did she just do with Firefly? Is Firefly even real? Or did she just, like, send her away?
Just a cremator who manipulated memories and pretended to be a Stellaron Hunter's companion. She fooled all of you.
Does that mean she fooled Firefly? And that's why Firefly saw things differently when she came here as well?
What about Miss Firefly? Is she alright?
She might get lost in the memory zone's turbulence, but don't worry. She's quite something.
She is quite something. Oh my
She'll only
god,
be stuck
man.
there temporarily. I'm here to bring you back to the Oak family. Mr. Sunday is worried about your safety. He tasked me with finding you in the dreamscape.
Wow. Well, then what's the timeline on this then? Was the Dahlia always here? Or is this like her reaching into the past and putting herself in the past? And affecting people's memories this way? Is she affecting Stell's memories? Like, what is the context of this then? Was she actually here? Because I'm kind of confused on that as well. Because if Firefly never actually truly encountered her here in Penacony as a companion, or maybe she did and she just doesn't remember. Oh man, that's so crazy. Because like now I'm thinking, was she actually retconning herself in these situations, or was it like when she's talking to Stell about these memories, or is it a situation where she was here, but Firefly doesn't remember that she was encountered someone that said this, and Black Swan? I don't know. Again, it's so interesting to think like again, we're probably gonna find out.
As for this Dahlia, she cannot be trusted. To extract specific history from the memory zone through just one memory? While there might be Memo Keepers capable of such feats, they certainly wouldn't be mere Pathstriders.
Seems you've been watching for quite a while. Yet you only show up fashionably late when we're about to make progress.
Oh my god.
Who's the untrustworthy one here, I wonder?
Like...
Save your excuses. I bring a message from Mr. Sunday that will prove my identity.
Just a message? Don't you find that a bit ridiculous?
Let's give it a try. It's only 2 words.
Let's go.
Charmony, Dove.
No way. Oh my god, that's so perfect.
I don't know the details, but
this
Mr.
is so
Sunday
perfect.
said you would understand.
Oh, that's so great. That's so great. How cool. How cool.
Indeed. Unless it's an extreme situation, this is enough to earn my trust.
Heck yeah. Sunday's so smart.
The IPC, Astral Express, and now you're even taking assignments from the family? My, aren't you popular?
She's so bitter about it, isn't she?
But you just had to choose the path of your own demise? Back then, I not only kept Lady Acheron's secret, but also left you with your life intact.
Ah, come on.
What? You're that eager to rekindle our past?
Well, you are the Dahlia, after all. I have to keep an eye on what kind of trouble you're going to stir up next. I've been questioning this for a long time. How could Destiny's slave possibly accept someone like you, whose very nature is betrayal?
It's because he can't trust someone whose like whole thing is betrayal. Isn't this what she said earlier? That she said, I will look back on that as well, but like, is this something she said earlier about like that too? And it does make sense. Like, how can Elio trust someone who lies this much? What?
And what's the deal with the Stellaron Hunter?
Let's get somewhere safe first. Then we can talk. She's too dangerous for us to let our guard down.
Look at this angle. She's so scary. Oh, the smile though. The run, get out of here.
Thanks.
You know what this legit feels like? This legit feels like Gandalf showing up to stop like Saruman. You know what I mean? It feels so freaking cool. Because again, I do think the Black Swan in a lot of ways is like a less gentle Gandalf, you know, in some ways. I thought she was gonna like walk up and punch her. I was like, I know I had that in my head.
More composed, or have you just gotten slower?
Oh my god. Because she said she knew her as well, right? That she saw her die, or she saw her being erased. Or again, I have to look back at the actual terminology, but look at this framing here, guys. Oh my god.
She's already left this area. There's no way you can catch up to her now.
This is so cool. This is so cool.
Catch?
Catch?
Why would I chase after her? Arrogant swan. If I didn't take her memories just now, then what exactly did I do to her?
Wait, what do you mean? Oh no.
I might as well tell you. I planted a spark of the cremator's fire in her memories.
What does that mean?
It will spread silently, and in an instant, it will burn away all her memories of seeing me. She'll believe she was never
Wait, so
here.
is that how people don't remember her? Is that why, like, Robin never mentioned? So maybe she actually was here.
The suspicions that have already taken root in her mind will also gradually fade away. No matter what she has discovered, the moment she attends the Charmony Festival, she'll revert back to that good child who was born to walk on the Order.
But
You're the one who's run out of time.
we know she defied the Order, though, right? That smile as well. They are intentionally making this, like, tension in this framing, right? They're intentionally making this so tension-filled, like the space between them.
I see. Not a member of the Everflame Mansion, and definitely not a Stellaron Hunter. Your true ally is the Dream Master.
What?
Oh, aren't you clever?
Wait.
How about a little reward for that?
So she's trying to get Robin back to follow the path of the Order for Gopher?
Cut the act.
Oh my god, these angles!
Even with your usual reckless methods, you can't handle
Get her.
me alone.
Black Swan killer. Get her.
You're right.
These angles.
I can't do it alone. But I rarely feel lonely anyway.
Kill her. Get her. Black Swan, please. No, get out there!
Repent and return to righteousness.
Is that Gulliver?
Though you soar like an eagle and make your nest among the stars, I will bring you down from there.
Now, can you still keep your cool?
Is that her? Did she implant something in her brain?
He actually gave you strength through the divine law. The Dream Master would go this far for an ally?
What can I say? I'm just that trustworthy.
I don't think so.
If he hadn't done that, how could my control over Memoria far exceed that of ordinary memo keepers? Let alone allow me to tamper with the Stellaron Hunter's memories.
So that makes sense, as we said, why Firefly was seeing a different world to Silverwolf then. That's actually legitimately like a very cool way of revealing that. Like just having a small moment at the start where Silverwolf was like, what are you looking at?
Unfortunately, you lost your composure in your euphoria. In the dreamscape, I might not be your match. But if I want to leave, you can't keep me here.
This is a perfect scene in terms of tension. I feel it so, like, viciously, you know what I mean?
Harsh words. Want to test that theory? It's easy to throw away a flower, but the fragrance lingering on your hands won't fade so easily. I can be quite persistent, you know.
How quickly the story has changed in just a few seconds.
Even if we rekindle what once was, I remain unchanged.
She seems so sure of herself as well. So sure. Oh, step back. Oh. That's such a great moment. Oh, because she's blushing.
And faster. I love watching people resist.
Oh.
Love watching them flee.
Oh.
Let's savor this moment a bit longer. After all,
Oh.
for us, this will be an incredibly crucial moment.
Oh.
No matter where you run, I will always find you.
What if I exit the game? What if I leave and never play Honkai Star Rail again? Would that be okay? What? Oh, Black Swan. No, she's not actually chasing her, is she?
I have the numbers advantage. You have no chance.
Stop it! Leave her alone!
I don't want to use a cremator's tricks. Not that I can't.
This music as well, fanciful.
I knew it.
Like a ballroom dance. Oh my god, and then she did the freaking... No way. They played the ballroom music and then you hear that she does the freaking dip. What the hell's... What the hell's that? What? What is this place? Where is this? What is this?
Where do you think you're going? After putting on such an elaborate show, won't you stay for a little chat?
What the fuck is happening? What is happening right now? What is happening? Huh? Chat with Black Swan about the situation. I know we get to play as Dahlia. What is this place? Is this Amphoreus? Like what? Amphoreus? Like what are we looking at here? Jesus freaking Christ, guys. What the hell? In the space of like 10 minutes, this changed everything. First of all, we can now add the Dahlia to the team, which again, we have a rule. If we get a story character, we do add them to the team. You know? And she does this thing. Oh my god, Freddy Krueger. Oh my god, Freddy Krueger, and she deals with dreams and memories. You can't tell me it's not like intentional.
Good night, memory.
Her smile is like she's drunk. And I think that's intentional. It's like the smile you see when someone is like so totally euphoric when they're drunk. This music as well. So what we just found out here, okay, we don't know the full story. What we just found out here is that she is not a Star Hunter, which again, you know, I know people will be like, Calvin, like you didn't know. Yeah, of course. Like I was just thinking, like, oh, maybe she's Star Hunter that we didn't know about. But of course, we were weary of her, right? We were like, okay, we should be more weary of her. She's not a memo keeper. I thought like, yeah, that's possible that she can be a memo keeper, right? There's lots of memo keepers you don't know. Of course, I thought that was possible. And then also, she's not even working for like the Everflame Mansion in this context right now. She's working with Gopherwood. This whole time, that's who she's been working with. This whole story, this is who she's been working with. This wasn't a matter of I'm working for, you know, I'm getting revenge for like for the Everflame Mansion. This is her working for Gopherwood as someone who's trying to bring Robin back to the Order. Look at this location, man. This is insane. Absolutely insane. So she affected Firefly's memories so that Firefly would see her as a Star Hunter, which again, I love that they had at the start Silverwolf being like, you know, what are you talking about? What can you see? And this whole time she's been like leading Firefly as well, and also then she almost got Robin fully in her clutch. Well, she did. She said she infected her. She got her anyway. So that she could impart something in their brains, I guess, that would like erase part of their memories from them and then just revert them back into like a certain state, maybe. And maybe she used Firefly to get to Robin. Maybe that's what she did as well. But then what does that, you know what I mean? What does that mean for Stell? Does that mean like, because here's the thing, now it proves to me maybe she was here on this planet, but again, I need to know the context of like what's happening with Stell now that she's telling this story about Stell. We can't trust her with Stell, right? Dream of gnawing oak. We can't trust her with Stell. So obviously we can't trust her with Stell. So whatever she's saying to Stell, we can't believe her. So this whole thing about like, oh, your memory is gone. Can we believe that? This whole thing of like, oh, someone stole your memory. Like since she's able to take memories from people as well, she scared me even coming to the camera there. Was it her? Like what are we able to trust right now? The moment when Black Swan entered in there as well. Oh my God, it was so great. Because again, the game utilizes the characters in such a fantastic way as well. Because we know, what the hell? What the hell? Oh no! 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 What are you doing now? Jesus freaking Christ, they have created a horror movie icon. Oh, that's actually pretty sick though. That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. I almost said swick. Sweet and sick. Jesus Christ, man. When Black Swan arrived there, was again, they're utilizing the fact that we already trust Black Swan after so much time here as well. That we already know Black Swan was technically on our side this whole time, or at least like she has a moral compass. So when Black Swan says this stuff, like, obviously, like, it adds to our weariness already, but it instantly makes us go, oh, of course, right? Because we're going to believe Black Swan. And then she has the message for Robin, which is such a great moment here from Sunday, which shows that she also has, like, that she's like, you know, on Sunday's side, too. It's a great way of almost instantly changing the entire board, right? Instead of having it be another 30 minutes of, like, them questioning, like, wait, who's telling the truth? Wait, Robin going, you telling the truth? You telling the truth? They're able to instantly change up everything and make it make sense how quickly it changes by like one phrase from Sunday and also like phrasing from Black Swan and her Black Swan questioning us, and then of course also then it all falls into place for the player as well. We're like, oh my god, yeah, that makes sense. She's been like retconning, like and again, I say retconning herself in the story, but like now I'm thinking maybe she actually was there, because it's very confusing to be like about the whole thing with. Again, I'm sure I'll figure out more of as we're going forward, but like she's talking to Stella about how she was there, but I thought for a second though maybe she wasn't there because she was telling Stella she like maybe some lies about how she was there or something. But then why would she need Stella? Is it because Stella has those memories? maybe. Stella has like a really strong memory, and the Memo Keeper said they really wanted Stella's memories. But that means if she's not a Memo Keeper, she's doing it through like the creation stuff, I guess. I don't freaking know. But I guess that's the whole point. We're not going to really know fully, I guess, until we get more deeper into the story as well. But like a fantastic moment. A really great way of like, because again, this whole story has been very like subtle in a way where it's been like retreading old stories with some added context, some like really good dialogue, constant cutscenes. Like this whole thing is one big cutscene, let's be honest here, but like a little bit of gameplay. And again, I'm not complaining because for me with Honkai Star Rail, it's become that thing where it's like, yeah, I'm here for the story. That's what I'm here for, right? I love the gameplay, but I'm also here for the stories and the characters and the moments and the music, of course. So to have that moment of like, since we were going through this so meticulously and so cerebrally, to then have this moment of just like, you know, the whole ending of a cop show. It's like, who did it? You know, the Columbo, you did it, you know? That moment felt so freaking incredible. It was almost like a rise of emotions, like you know, intentionally so. You were so calm in terms of like trying to figure out exactly what was happening, and then boom. Really impressive stuff. Really impressive. Yeah, let's talk about this. I'll actually, like, you know, come back in a second or maybe in a bit and we'll talk about this as well. I actually already recorded this post-discussion once, but then somehow lost the audio for it. Which is fine. It just means that if this sounds like a little bit different or sounds like maybe I'm retreading stuff I've already said, it's because, yeah. And like the first time I did this was like, you know, kind of just talking about everything, you know, from the heart. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing and talk about what my feelings are on this. But yeah, as I'm saying, it's going to probably sound like sometimes where I'm like, almost like, yeah, and in my head I go, I also said this about this, I should say that again because that's how I feel, you know, but it's going to sound like like I'm like reading of a script in my head. You know what I mean? That's the way things are gonna go. But yeah, this was a really interesting and like mind-bending story. Like I really love the idea that we're not totally like fully aware of like all the ins and outs of the story, but there is like, you know, some concrete stuff as well. I feel like I was kind of being a bit silly when I was kind of like, was she there or was she not? Because maybe it's just like in my head it makes sense, but when I look back at the edit, I'm like, am I being silly? Like, am I being silly about this? Because one of the things that like I find is that like my thought process was, if memories can be messed with so much so, like, was the Dahlia even there at that time? Was she even in those stories? Or was it a thing where she was there and she erased people's memories? That's probably the more accurate way of looking at things, especially after what she's about to do to Robin. Because like, and people might be like, well, Calvin, how can Black Swan see her then, and like, and all these other people see her and stuff like this? And like, my thought process was, well, maybe Black Swan also has the power to like, you know, work within memories and all that stuff too. So I thought maybe to be able to like, work, you know, she'd be able to like withstand it or like be able to like, you know, see through it in some ways. But I totally get how if I definitely sound a bit silly, but I hope you guys get what I meant when I was like, was she even there? Because I was thinking like, did she like retcon herself into the entire story? Did she like, you know, add herself to the story afterwards, like in the special edition of Penacony? The special edition DVD release, you know, with extra Dahlia. But I still think it's like a really great story. I think it's fantastic. Like the Dahlia is truly a terrifying character. And what's actually really cool about the Dahlia is that when we first met her on the Astral Express, there was this like fear of like, okay, she's terrifying. She's absolutely terrifying. But then you calm down a bit because while she still is mysterious, there's like aspects to her where you're kind of like, okay, she's not doing anything right now. And in fact, like again, my whole thought process was that she was, my theory was she was an Everflame, she infiltrated the Everflame Mansion and pretended to be an Everflame Mansion person. She then was already like maybe possibly a Stellar Hunter. And again, I know some people might be like, well, Calvin, like you haven't seen her at that point. But again, my point throughout this whole thing was it's totally plausible that in like a year's time, if they went like, oh, here's the other Stellar Hunter, Jack, like you're not going to be like, wait, there's another one? No, it's like they're probably off doing different stuff. You know what I mean? And you know, it's a whole thing. So like, and again, especially since like the whole idea of the story was for Dahlia to trick Firefly, which she did. She tricked Firefly into making her believe that she was like a Stellar Hunter, to the point that even like Black Swan later on says that you got to talk to Silverwolf because Silverwolf knows that she's not a Stellar Hunter. And I think it's so fantastic how they cut off Firefly from Silverwolf, and then the whole thing of like her being a Stellar Hunter in front of Firefly started to take shape, because she was able to mess with like Firefly's mind. But I imagine that like there's some reason why like Silverwolf wasn't. And maybe it's because, you know what it probably is because in that moment she didn't actually need Silverwolf at this time either to get to Robin, right? And that's a possibility. I think because I think that's what she wanted. She wanted to get to Robin. But you know what I'm saying? Like I think there's a she probably could have done the same thing to Silverwolf, but she didn't actually need to do the same thing to Silverwolf. Yeah, that's the way I look at it anyway. And like I really think that it is like so like it's one of those things where yeah, like it is supposed to be a thing where it's like, oh, is she a Stellar Hunter? What is she? And all these things as well. You're supposed to be weary of her, of course. And then also the whole thing with the Memo Keeper. It's like, if someone in this game tells me they're a Memo Keeper, I'm not going to be like, no, and you're not. It's like, because there's so many titles in this game, like, if someone shows up right now and goes, I'm a Memo Keeper, I'm going to be like, okay, yeah. And then I'll believe it until they don't believe it. Not because I'm being naive, but because this game has so many characters and so many different backgrounds and, you know, so many factions. If someone walks up to me right now and says, I'm a faction of the Golden Warriors Type 2. I'd be like, oh, the Golden Warriors Type 2. Yeah, and that might even exist, but in that moment, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, it's Honkai Star Rail. There probably is like another faction. You know, there's probably another thing that goes along with that too. But I really love the way that they set up the Dahlia in this whole situation, because the last scene we just saw there is like one of the best moments in this whole story so far, and probably the best moment of the story so far, which is Black Swan realizing, okay, something is wrong here. Earlier on, she even said, like, and again, I forgot about this part for a bit, but, like, she said, like, yeah, there's no one named Constance in the Everflame Mansion Rota. And that's our first hint that something might be wrong. But even in that moment, I was thinking to myself, but maybe she still infiltrated the Everflame Mansion. You know what I mean? In some ways. But then it's like, oh, well, she's not even on the list, right? She's not even documented to be there. Black Swan was looking at factual things that have happened and being like, why is this being distorted? And it's like, oh, that makes sense. And then she knew this Dahlia character, even from that moment there too, where she talked about maybe how like she chased after the Dahlia and the Dahlia was erased or killed or whatever it was, or executed. But when she shows up there and says like, you're not a Stellar Hunter, you're not a Memo Keeper, like, it's such a perfect way of executing the story beat. It's such a perfect way of executing the moment. And I think it is like the reason why it's so perfect is because Black Swan is a character that we can now trust after Amphoreus. And I think that Honkai Star Rail does a good job of using characters' skills by and extending them to the future in a way that makes us go, okay, that makes sense. Because Black Swan is someone who now we can trust. We know she's powerful. We know she has like a morally good compass at times. So her being like, yeah, instantly, you're a Stellar Hunter. You're not a Stellar Hunter. You're not a Memo Keeper. This isn't a situation where like Black Swan, if this was Black Swan when we first met her and we just met the Dahlia as well, there would be an element as well where like you'd kind of be like, who's telling the truth? You know, but with Black Swan, it's like, no, I trust Black Swan now. I trust her. The player trusts her. So when she calls her out, it's like this big, massive moment as well. And we find out that, yeah, she never was a Memo Keeper. She never was an Everflame Mansion person, apparently. She never was a Stellar Hunter. She has cremator powers, but she's working with Gopher. And we saw with Gopherwood, he wants to obviously like bring this eternal paradise. But with the Dahlia, what she is doing here now as well, she's like is gaining like this power from him. And since the Gopherwood is like a part of like all of Penacone, she actually has this like really, really powerful power at this stage as well. And she imparted I forget what the name of the actual ability is, but like the flame of the something of the flame into Robin, which made Robin now, when she gets to the actual event, she will forget about the Dahlia and then become like I don't know if the way they described it was like she'll become like a good, you know, person for the Order. The Order will be able to like follow, or she'll be able to follow the Order in that way too. That's the way I looked at it anyway. That's the way I saw it. Like that's what she wanted to do with Robin and working with Gopherwood as well. But the way that this whole scene plays out with like Firefly being like, wait, what's happening? And then, you know, Black Swan being like, hey, get back to the Silverwolf. And then giving the code word to Robin as well. It's a great moment. And it shows like, again, Black Swan's urgency in that moment. It shows how dangerous the Dahlia could be as well. Making sure that the Robin realizes right away, you gotta go. Making sure like at this point as well that like, you know, and you know what's so interesting when she dissipates and sends, when Dahlia sends Firefly away, it's actually such a subtle moment, but again, it's like the same reason why she didn't bring Silverwolf into this whole situation. She doesn't need Silverwolf, and at that point, she already did what she needed to do to Robin. She doesn't need Firefly anymore. She dissipates Firefly, and it's so strange that like that shows her like motivations. Firefly was no longer needed, so almost instantly it's like bye-bye. You know? It's a perfect way of writing a character, because now we understand that like she wasn't, you know, there's not a hint of her that was like, I liked being around Firefly, you know what I mean? This whole thing was one big trick for poor Firefly too, which again, I think the Dahlia unintentionally probably helped to Firefly in some ways, but like it was unintentional, right? It was definitely unintentional. Because the moments to moment stuff with Firefly in this whole story too, when it comes to the stuff with AR-214, is also very important to Firefly's character, and we got to like go deeper into stuff we already knew about Firefly and kind of be more emboldened with like the story that she already had as well. But this moment as well with the Dahlia and Black Swan is a perfect moment. Great, how would I say it? Like, it's a great tension-filled scene. The way that they frame it, they have the two gals like facing each other, the camera angles are spinning around them, like Black Swan is ready with like her foot extended out, but she's also ready to leave as well. She knows that this person is dangerous, she knows this is like a very, very terrifying situation. And it's so subtle, but it's so great. When Black Swan leaves, she does a double take of like, is she letting me leave? You know, again, showing how much tension is in that scene of like, is she going to get out of here? Is she going to be able to get out of here? And she leaves. And she's chased after, and she does a ballroom dance dip with the Black Swan, and now they're in this like weird world wherever they are. I'm not sure what this is. But it's so it's executed perfectly. This whole scene is executed perfectly. The whole Dahlia story of like, again, like I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I knew from the start that she wasn't all these things. Again, I told you my theory. I thought she infiltrated the Everly Mansion. That's what I thought she did. But I think now the feeling we have now is like, okay, yeah, the game was telling you to be weary, right? It was telling you to like not trust her fully, but we didn't know what elements to trust and what elements to not trust. And then once you find out and Black Swan has this moment, it not only makes it feel like it's so amazing because Black Swan is an amazing character, and like, you know, Black Swan is such a presence that when she says something, it's like, oh my god, she said that, she's telling the truth, and like Dahlia you're lying. It's a huge moment. But it's also then, as you said, like the kind of like little rivalry and the fight that they have between the two and the history they have that clearly is on display here. Also, they'll probably learn more about as we go forward too. It's so well executed. It was I found it to be like really, really fun. And then also like just having like you know, now it kind of makes sense in a way. The Dahlia showing up on the Asteroid Express and then Kafka snapping us out of it. I don't know if Kafka was actually there, but like I do think it was a thing where it's like maybe symbolically Kafka snapping us out of it was like an important detail for our character as well, to really kind of like escape the clutches of the Dahlia in that moment as well. Because Kafka is always guiding us towards things, and she's always been such a very motherly character. And I think, you know, the Dahlia claiming to be a Sentinel Hunter, like, is actually a very, like, I'm not saying it's plausible, but I do think it's one of those things where, like, again, the game understands the player dynamic. While there are some people who don't trust the Sentinel Hunters, and that's perfectly fine, for me, when it comes to Sentinel Hunters, I know that at the very, very least, they have Stell's best interest in mind. Because Stell's best interest is the world's best interest, right? We know this as, like, a fact. So when she said she's a Sentinel Hunter, the game is trying to, like, lower your guard a little bit. Because the two things that become plausible about this in some ways are, as I said, you don't know all the Sentinel Hunters. So it's like, okay, maybe she was a Sentinel Hunter. You know, the Sentinel Hunters are kind of like anti-heroes, so it's like a character that is a bit more devious and kind of evil in a way. It's like, okay, maybe they are like a Sentinel Hunter. And then like also because we like the Sentinel Hunters, like as you said, like it lowers your guard a little bit. But again, I still think, you know, for me, when I first played that, I was so excited to see a new character and all this stuff too. As I was playing it, I don't think I was weary as I was until I edited the video. And then I was like, no, man, this is weird. You know what I mean? And again, I know it makes me sound like kind of silly, but that's what happens. I was so excited for a new character, going back to Penacony. Obviously, we were still like, who's this and who's that? We were weirded out, but I don't think I was as like, okay, I gotta be like watching this character like a hawk, you know, after this. But that's kind of like the advantage I have as like a YouTuber sometimes, that I get to look back and stuff and be like, oh, okay, that's like, you know, maybe I was wrong here. Maybe I should have said something here. It's obviously an advantage as well. Of course it is. But yeah, now we have to wonder, like, what is happening with Stell? We can't trust her with Stell either. Why is she trying to go through this Stell's memories? Is it because Stell's memories are just so valuable as well? What's going to happen with her and Black Swan? There's like a load of things here with the Dahlia that are just so impressively well done that I'm just so impressed. I'm so impressed with what they did here as well. Great character introduction, honestly. In terms of the Firefly stuff, I do think that is also just like another great exploration to Firefly's character, who like is legitimately like one of the best characters in Honkai Star Rail, one of the best stories, one of the best arcs. And our arc isn't done, but like one of the best chapters in the story as well was Penacony for Firefly. And her meeting AR-214 to me is kind of like it's a motivating factor, but also it's like a contrasting factor as well for, like, you know, what had happened to AR-214 and comparing it to like what is now happening with the purpose in Firefly's life. Firefly talks about how they wanted AR-214 to find a purpose, and how they hoped and prayed that they found something, amazing for their life, or and she was even surprised that they made it to Penacony. And AR-214 was like the first escapee and the only escapee technically of the Glamoth Knights. And for Firefly, that of course is like a beacon. It's a star in the sky. It's something to look up to. It's something to look towards. This person escaped. This person got out of here. And then as she's able to leave and she's found by the Sentinel Hunters and she's found a new purpose, she's given a new purpose by the Sentinel Hunters. While her purpose wasn't really complete until I feel like she met Stell. I think reuniting with Stell really like made Firefly's life feel a little bit more purposeful in a lot of ways. Not that she didn't have a purpose or she wasn't, because I think sometimes it can sound so bad when like, this character didn't have anything before they met this character. But I think it sometimes happens. I think Firefly was lost. You had people that loved her and people that cared about her. But reuniting with Stell really felt like it was the defining factor, it feels like, for Firefly really like accepting, I know it's hard to say, but like accepting the situation they're in while also trying to make the best out of the life that they have, and like choosing that they get to choose their own beginning, get to choose where they go in life. Yes, there's a script, but they still get to decide the different factors in between that as well, right? And you see that conversation when she's having with Acheron. It's like how like she's talking about how like her script is very small. At the end of the day, she feels like Acheron says everyone's like going to be going towards death. Even Firefly says that too when she sees the body of AR-214. It's like, I will end up like this someday. Because what happens is the propagation is a thing where I think with the swarm, where all the swarm, if they die if the queen dies. And it's kind of really like disgusting, but also intentionally disgusting that like the Glamoth Knights, if they leave their world and they leave the army, they fade away if they're not in the suit or not in that pod the Firefly had as well. So obviously comparing that idea to that too. So her saying like I'll eventually end up like this too is obviously her story about how she's still feeling like she's not tangible in this world, that she could like be dissipated from this world at any point. Which is why, as I said, her meeting Stell is such an important thing, because that moment with them flying through the fireworks isn't her saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like okay forever. It's her acknowledging that like Stell is once again giving her like such a lease on life again. And it helps her realize also the love that she had before as well, right, with the Sentinel Hunters. Because later on we see scenes with her later on where she's like, man, I actually do have like, a better life than I did. It's not perfect, but like, I'm not trying to say that she should be like, you should be grateful, Firefly. Because no, that's not the point. I'm saying that like, Firefly realizes, oh my god, like, I have Stell. I have the Sentinel Hunters. Yes, life is definitely not perfect. Jesus Christ, like I'm going through so much all the time. But it's like, you can tell that she has like more of like this like love for her life compared to before the start of Penacony. But yeah, using AR-214 as like a beacon of like, I hope they find a purpose. I want to find a purpose. I want to find my tangible place in this world. They only got as far as Penacony is like this very specific line is because I believe that like Firefly also getting as far as Penacony finally to have this dream is like, is this how far I go? Is this as far as I go? When in reality that's not. She's keeping going. She's going to keep going after this as well. There's the moment then also when we should say as well, like she wanted to give a proper burial to AR-214. She wanted to really respect AR-214 because again, that symbol of like escaping the Glamoth Knights and actually trying to gain independence. And we talk about the bird in the cage and all this stuff too as well, but I think that's like, very much apparent when it comes to like Firefly as well. She technically like didn't fail AR-214. She was murdered, right, by Gopherwood, which is what's so devastating about this anyway. But it's like, you can't see that as like a, how do I say it, as a failure in my books, because as I'm 100% on Robin's side. A bird should be let out of the cage. If the bird dies, at least they got to fly. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it too as well, 100%. And yes, will Firefly always be in danger? Will she always have the trouble of the entropy loss syndrome? Yes. But she has gotten to fly. Literally, with Stell. And, I think using AR-214 in this story is like a really sad moment, but it's also a very inspiring moment of like, they got this far, I got to get further. I think it's a really great way of using that as well. I'm not trying to say they're using like this poor character as like a utilization thing, but again, story-wise, it makes sense. We find out that like Firefly is also a last survivor, I think it's what it's called. And a last survivor is what I perceive it to be in my interpretation. We might learn more about it. A last survivor to me is what Stell is in terms of her fight with Nanook. And Firefly has her fight with Nihility, and she has to prevent Nihility from ever taking over Stell. Kafka and Blade were like visibly or audibly kind of like grunting at this. They did not like this idea because again, they love Firefly. They don't want anything to. It's so funny. Like I genuinely believe that like all the Stellar Hunters are the most serious characters ever when they're talking to each other. Like they have their own character traits, but then as soon as they're talking to Firefly, they're like ooh boo boogie woogie. Blade is like, everything in life is pain. It's so awful. Okay, I'm coming, Blade. Okay, Firefly. Okay. Because he gets softer with her, you know? They all get Silverwolf gets softer with her. I can imagine even Elio being like, all right, this is a serious mission. Okay, Elio. Oh my god, she's she's lovely. I do think it is that like as well. Because again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with them treating that like her like that's like their precious baby. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's actually quite sweet the way they like, you know, look after her in that sense too. But the Last Survivor, yeah, like my interpretation of it is the same thing that like what's happening with Stell is like that battle that's going to happen against Nanook. There's going to be candidates that are going to fight against the Eons, or at least be like Last Survivor like brings up the idea maybe of like a last stand, the last stand against Nihility, the last stand against destruction. Maybe they're like choosing specific Eons, but it says she said her job is to like prevent Nihility from consuming Stell. So I wonder if it is like Stell is like the main like fighting against the nuke, and then like the other survivors have to like do other things as well. So we might learn who the other survivors are as well. Maybe we already did, maybe I forget as well, but like the concept is really cool, and learning Firefly is a Last Survivor, like, you know, connects her to Stell even more powerfully so as well. Because I thought they were going to retread the whole scene, but actually was like, you know, a new idea altogether. But yeah, like, I think that what this whole story did for Firefly, as I said, was re-embolden stuff we already knew about her, and once again let us, like, you know, see her journey from a different perspective, whether it be like stuff like I Don't Look Away from the Swarm, or her stuff like, you know, talking about how like AR-214 when he got as far as Penacony, wanting to respect AR-214 for what they were able to do as well, wanting to start a new beginning with Stell, all these things here. And my interpretation of the new beginning, I know people have different interpretations of it, my interpretation has always been like, yes, we were never actually truly given a goodbye, but that doesn't mean we can't have a new beginning. So it's like I get to like, you know, be with Stell once again and go on this journey with Stell, because their relationship is like so important to me, it really is. But yeah, I loved what they did with Firefly as well. It wasn't like too heavy-handed in a sense where it's like, you know, they retreaded old stuff to the point where it's like, oh, this is just the same story. They emboldened it. They added new stuff to it. They it's like, you know what it's like? It's almost like they made this amazing sandwich, right? And it's like, oh my god, this is incredible. I love this. What can make this better? And it's like, here's a milkshake and some fries. And it's like, oh, yes! There it is, you know? And it's like, yeah, they added the milkshake and the fries, and it's like, oh, this is a complete meal, you know? And I think that's the way to look at it. It's like, oh, it was already like, to me, like I was full and I was like so happy, but it's like one of those things where it's like I didn't know I needed the fries, and it's like adding those little tiny things where it's like, oh, that's great, that's so great. So yeah, I think they did a really good job of all this stuff. I saw that some people said that like they found this to be kind of maybe like not as like one of their favorite missions ever, and I can get that idea. I can totally get that idea. But for me personally, I think the reason why I like it is probably my bias towards Firefly. Which again, someone will be like, yeah, you're biased. And it's like, we all have biases. It's called preferences, right? We all like things more. So yeah, a story about Firefly is going to be more interesting to me than maybe most people will be interested in. But I love the Stellar Hunters as well. And like, you know, Stellar Hunters, like, it's so funny because canonically, and this is factual, this is me giving an opinion, the Stellar Hunters like saved the world constantly. Because if it wasn't for Stell, if Stell did not get on the Astral Express, the world ends. This is just factual. If Stell does not make friends in Xian Show, the world ends. You know what I mean? Like, and it's so interesting where it's like, Balebog dies if it was not for the Stellar Hunters. You know? Amphoreus dies. Xian Show gets destroyed if it's not for the Stellar Hunters. And it's so funny to me that, like, you know, people might say, well, Calvin, that's like that's like saying, like, oh, a singer wouldn't be nothing without their manager. And I totally get that. You're totally accurate in saying that, but I'm just mean more like an domino effect. I don't mean like directly, like Stell did all the stuff herself. But it's like an domino effect. If it wasn't for the Stellar Hunters guiding Stell, the world dies. You know what I mean? We never meet Sela and Bronya. Balebog just dies, you know? And again, people will say like, well, Calvin, like, they have ulterior motives. And it's like, yeah, sure, of course, 100%. But that doesn't change the fact that we have to look at facts sometimes. If you want to see these videos early, you can do so on YouTube members or on Patreon for €1 or whatever is in your currency. That is the lowest tier on YouTube members on Patreon, and you get every single Honkai Star Rail video free. If you want to see your name in the text credits going by right now, that is the Chunky Baby Gangsta tier, and that's for every single video. That is €10 on YouTube members or on Patreon. And if you want to hear your name be read out every single video, that is the €15 tier, and that is the I Can Never Repay the Baby Gangsta tier as well. First, let's read out the patrons' names, that being Typharo 2, Jamie Bull, Jana the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Delicious Felix, Yuld, Anusta, The Assassin, True Beta Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Kasperian, Neo Shaurite, Leah 200, Malcolm Kunde, Axler 21, and at the highest tier of my YouTube members, Blasco and Lucinagi. See you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.